Christmas party tomorrow at 12:30.
Very proud of you.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, but
12. Who was it? 12.
Gotta make an appearance.
For work?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like fun at all. 12:30 on a Sunday.
No, it's not. But hell,
12:30 in the afternoon.
It's free food. You know.
Oh,
I just got shit from the girl. Her niece threw a Christmas party. They threw an ugly sweater / pajama Christmas party last night.
Oh, it's getting so old. Ugly sweater.
It started at 5 o'clock, right? 5 on a Friday. So I'm like, well, we don't need to be there right at 5, right? She's like, no, you don't have to be there till, a little bit later. I'm like, all right, cool. So I call her. I'm on the road. It's like 6:08, 6:12. She's like, are you seriously not here yet? I go, what are you talking about? She goes, an hour and a half late. I go, it's 6 o'clock on a fucking Friday night. You're giving me a hard time for this party and shit? I did show up in a Grinch onesie, though. So there's that.
Johnny, what's playing in the background there?
that is. I forgot to pause the video, so that's like
all right.
That's some ad in the background. I guess.
Sure.
Welcome, everyone.
I just saw some chick's makeup get ruined. What the hell is going on?
It's like the old Star Case or HBO back when you get the scrambled porn. Oh, I see tit.
Oh yeah,
I see tit.
I see a nipple.
Oh, gosh.
It's in my hair.
Yeah, actually, Nesdal is here. He just popped in. I don't know what that's going to do to the screen here, but instead of roll call, you guys just say hi in the chat, and there you go.
Yeah, you got your. Wait, Nesdal is in the chat.
Well, he's looking at me. He's in the green room.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
The virtual green room.
Yeah. All right. What else? Real quick. It's 9:27 p.m. out here in Santa Cruz. Welcome, everybody. It's December 21st, 2019. And here's Fret Level Midnight. Tips for setting pickup height on a 24 fret. Humbucker. Hamburger.
Hum single.
Hamburger.
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. Hey, Nesdal, you want to feel that?
I bet Nesdal knows how to. Yeah.
Okay, here's Nesdal.
The answer to that.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, look at that. And he's got he's upside down. Nice.
Welcome back, Dave.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Dave. How you guys doing?
Doing all right, man.
What's up with the screen, though?
It's getting smaller and smaller.
We're skipping roll call tonight.
This is CNN.
Yeah, I know. We got to scroll. We get the scroll and the other screen and screen. This is beautiful.
I can only see it from my phone, so.
Oh,
it's going to be real tiny.
Why is Nesdal upside down?
He's not upside down on my screen.
He looks normal to me.
Yeah, he looks.
No, Dave, go back. You were fine the way you were.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
That better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. He's upside down on my StreamYard screen.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? He's fine on mine.
Yeah, he looks fine.
If I switch over, I switch over to watch the actual YouTube feed, he looks fine. But if I'm looking at him on StreamYard, he's upside down at the bottom of my screen.
How about now?
Well, no, not
now.
now.
I don't see anyone. The funny thing is now.
Fruitcake says his screen is whack.
All I see is the chat. I don't see anybody.
That's because Johnny is doing a screen share right now.
Yeah, we discovered a few things on this last night.
If you watch the very end of the last 15 minutes of last night's video, you swear you dropped acid.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how it worked, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, can we go back to the old way?
It was
so I
cool.
can see you guys?
Yeah, Dave wants to see us, man.
Okay. All right. Where are we? How do we do this? And then Fret Level Midnight. We've got his deal.
There we are. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave. How you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm a little tired, but I just got a new room today in the rehab center, which I'm by myself. It's like a nice little hotel room on the first floor. Nicer bed, nicer TV. I have my guitar here, so I'm able to play.
Nice.
I got to show you
And,
guys.
it's all right. It's all right. It's okay. I mean, I'm going to be laid up for quite a while. Probably be here for 3 weeks or so. I can't walk yet. I can't really put any pressure on that foot yet until the stitches come out. So,
By the way, I just want to show you guys this so you don't think I'm fucking full of shit. This doll is upside down.
What the hell?
it's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's weird. Wow.
Dave, flip your phone over. I'd rather have it like that.
You want me to flip my phone over?
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah, Nesdoll's upside down. It's the weirdest thing
strange.
on my-
He's still upside down on yours?
No, yeah, he's still upside down. This is
It must be the different
I
devices for.
literally just took this picture. No, he's on. This is how I see him on my desktop.
Oh, that's
wow.
so funny.
I don't know why he's upside down. 'Cause he looks fine on the.
Well, wait. What if I do this?
Yeah.
You got to put the lock on. You might have to put the lock screen on because
Oh.
it flipped. Yeah, it flipped.
Looks fine. Yeah, you're still right side up.
Now he looks right side up on my screen.
Okay.
That is funny.
Yeah, now he looks fine.
That's weird.
That was so weird.
You had your
Sorry
phone the
about that.
wrong way.
I got to try to do this so that the phone doesn't, fall down because it's see like that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, well, good to see you, man.
Yeah, same here. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't get a chance to comment. Like I saw your update on Facebook, and I wasn't in a place where I could actually write or say something. So, but I've been thinking about you the whole time. I'm glad you're doing well.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah. Oh shit.
Well, until that happened.
Hang on. Yeah, this kind of sucks. You know what? You know what I'll do is I won't keep the phone plugged in. How about that? How about I do that?
There you go.
I think the cable is weighing it down a bit. So.
By the way, I hate to interrupt you, Dave, but I know the chat is starting to talk about Star Wars and shit. Please no spoilers. Please no spoilers for the people that haven't seen Star Wars.
Yeah. What do you mean you're watching it?
No, I'm not watching the new one. I'm watching there's a Star Wars
like a marathon,
thing on
right?
TV, a marathon. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm watching Rogue One right now.
Yeah, please don't. For those
Yeah,
who
no
don't know,
spoilers.
please don't spoil it. Let's
Yeah,
be
John
cool.
BL, no spoilers.
Let's be cool about that.
Yeah, spoilers.
Because I don't want to say who is a big fan of Star Wars. Skip the middle square and go over that. Yeah, just don't. Yeah. If you badmouth Star Wars, I will sling bantha shit at you. See what I did there? That's a Star Wars reference. Sing! And now back to
Dewback shit is worse than Bantha shit.
Oh.
Damn. So
Man, John BL is louder than everybody tonight. Does anybody else notice that?
You turn me down.
Show. Isn't it his show?
That's a good point. The
I can't turn
headliner,
you down.
the headliner is always like 10 dB louder than the supporting act. So
The front man.
True story.
How's that? Is that any better? Am I still really loud?
you just gotta talk.
True
Well,
story.
it's not so much that you're loud. It's just every time you open your mouth.
I guess so. That's always been a problem. It's been a problem for about a year now.
Only a year?
Yeah.
Jay, you mentioned the headliner thing. True story. It's 1987. Keel are opening for Bon Jovi.
Who?
Keel.
Oh, Keel.
Yeah,
Keel
Keel.
with K.
Yeah, with a K. They had a moment with a song called "The Right to Rock," and they also did a cover of Patti Smith's "Because the Night." But they're opening for Bon Jovi on the Slippery When Wet tour, and Ron Keel, I guess one night the microphone shit the bed, or the PA shit the bed, so he had to use John Bon Jovi's mic for the lead vocals and stuff. And he told me that the sound guy for Bon Jovi boosts all the levels for the vocal mics because John doesn't have any power in his voice, so to speak. It sounded like Sour Grapes from an opening act, but it's just funny that you mentioned the 10 dB thing. He's like, yeah, man, because Ron's from Nashville. He's like, yeah, man, they turn all that shit up on those guys all the time. And we didn't get nothing. We get no sound. So it's funny. There is some truth to the whole.
Oh, they're
headliner gets more volume.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I mean, we went out with bands that weren't a tenth as big as those bands, and we were told, like, and a couple times we'd use the headliner's sound guy because we wanted to sound good. We don't want the house guy doing it, and
even when I would do lighting for an opening act, there would be like the board would be taped off. You cannot use these.
Yep.
These,
you cannot sound as good or as loud as the headliner. You cannot look as good as the headliner with the lights, like John Beale's saying. And
no
also,
no
for the most part, unless the headlining act is cool, you have to match all of their prices on merch. Like if they're selling their shirts for $30, you got to sell your shirts for $30. Yep. There was many times I'm like, no one's gonna buy our shit for $30. Like what? So we don't sell anything. So
somebody in the chat mentioned "Hot on Your Heels." "Hot on Your Heels" is a Steeler song. Steeler was Ron Keel's first band that made anything. Steeler also featured Yngwie Malmsteen. So there's your.
I'll have to check out Keel. Is there stuff on Spotify?
I can't find him in my rock book here.
Keel was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're a decent band. Their drummer lives here in Arizona. Lives here in Phoenix.
Keel?
Yeah.
Yes. I used to have a Ronnie Keel pick. I don't know if I still have it.
Yeah, that's it. He was in Steeler. He was actually, fun fact, obscure. This is proof that I'm a fucking jerk. Keel was in Black Sabbath for about a week. One of the many long list of lead singers that went through Black Sabbath. He was in for about a week. He never got to play with them. He rehearsed with them a bunch of times.
Which record should I start with?
Not
the 2010 one, I'm sure.
No, The Right to Rock is the one that most people know. The Final Frontier is Gene Simmons produced them, so you're gonna know it's gonna sound
like Kiss.
Yeah, a little bit like Kiss. The first those The Right to Rock and The Final Frontier were produced by Gene Simmons. So decent band, decent sort of straight ahead, balls out metal band.
I'm gonna mute this real quick and check this out.
Killer Dwarfs are a better band than Keel thrash metal, and I like Keel, but Killer Dwarfs are a better band.
Keeler Dwarfs?
Killer. Keeler. In Mexico, it's Keeler.
Keeler Dwarfs.
They are Keeler Dwarfs.
The first thing I notice in the song "The Right to Rock" are the guitars are out of tune with each other. That's the first thing. The first note, bam! It's like, oh.
Yep.
Way to grab the audience.
I'll definitely check them out.
It's probably a lot of chorus.
Yeah, well, when you're doubling guitars, like, and you're playing, two guitar players, and then both of them are using chorus.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and especially, coming through an iPhone, it doesn't do it any favors. So,
and it's all over modulated too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they tried to make it sound as quote unquote metal as possible.
Right on. So, Paul, what guitar you got there, man?
Oh, this is just the EVH striped. The old original 2013 EVH striped. I pulled this out because I was thinking of offloading some guitars. And I pulled this one out, and I'm like, and I just, the more I play it, the more I love the necks on these things. As simple and as bass as this is, it's a great guitar. I actually like the neck on it a lot. Mm-hmm. And they stay in tune, and they play well, and so I'm just sort of picking on it.
Yeah.
Nesdal proves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great guitars.
You were thinking of selling that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was thinking of offloading a bunch of guitars just because I have too many, and I just bought a truck, and I want to try and offset the cost of my.
What are you
truck.
What are you looking to sell?
Don't know yet. Maybe a couple of Les Pauls. I might get rid of one of the Ernie Balls or two. I've got one or two that are more player grade than collectible grade, so let those go for a decent price, something like that. You never know. PV Wolfgangs, because I don't play them.
In other words, you just got a girlfriend recently, and now you're selling guitars. Come on, man. Hold on a second.
No, it has nothing to do with the girlfriend. That's the funny part of it. But okay, it probably parenthetically has something to do with the girlfriend because I bought a new truck so that the girlfriend would look good in a truck. No, I bought a new truck and it was somewhat expensive, and I don't really want to carry that note very long. So if I can knock out 10 grand or so by offloading a couple of guitars, I'll do it.
Wow. All right.
Well, if you want to get rid of one of your gems,
Yeah. You notice I didn't mention those as the list of guitars.
nobody else buy any of his guitars, so I can get the gems.
I think I'm gonna get 900 for an Epiphone Ace Frehley Les Paul. Somebody's offered me a decent,
that's a lot of dough
for an Epiphone. Sure,
that's a lot of dough, man. I gotta show you guys something.
Oh, geez, Dave.
Oh,
not now.
Desiree just bought me this comforter, man. I love it.
Looks comfy.
I love the comforter. The other
cool.
side is like shaggy.
Oh yeah, the sheepskin. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is the bomb. This comforter is amazing.
Can I give you a tip?
I already have the tip.
No fabric softener with that type of blanket.
Just the tip.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that the inside or the underneath you're talking about that's nice and soft and stuff, it'll start to it won't be as comfy.
It's so fluffy.
No fabric softener.
It's like a sheep.
this is so weird.
Ron Padgett said he just sold a gem. Which gem did you sell and how much did you get for it?
Wow.
We're all waiting for the answer.
Yeah, I know. I'm curious, man.
Now, Dave, that's the guitar you're holding, or the one that you were holding a second ago. That's the Axis EX, correct? I mean the Ernie Ball Music Man EX or whatever they call it, the Axis EX.
Axis EX, yes.
Yeah, which is essentially the Japanese version of the EVH without the signature on it, correct?
Well, it's not Japanese. It's the American parts just assembled in Japan.
Assembled in Japan. Yeah, they sent it over to the Japanese market when they changed the endorsement, correct?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
But it's exactly the same guitar. I don't care what anyone says. It's exactly the same guitar. It may have a veneer top on top of a maple cap. But I've owned so many EVHs. I've probably owned about 12 of them. And this one sounds and plays and looks as good as any of them. So go get yourself an EX. Go get yourself an Axis EX for under $1,500 and stop the bullshit of paying $4,000 and $5,000 for one that says Eddie Van Halen.
Bullshit. Well, Eddie's
Eddie's
didn't have his signature on it, so
bullshit. It's total bullshit.
His yellow one didn't. The purple one with the black headstock didn't. There was a few of them that did not have his autograph on the headstock.
By the way, Dave is absolutely crushing my market if I decide to sell any of my Ernie Balls.
What about the red one, Dave? Because I don't know any of this.
No, the red one did have the seat.
Okay.
In fact, it's for sale. I think Rockstar Guitars has that guitar for sale for a boatload of money.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's either the yellow one or a purple one that was Eddie's. I don't know. I think like $100,000 or something like that.
Oh, one from the tour from.
One of Eddie's personal Music Man guitars.
Oh,
Rockstar. If you Google Rockstar Guitars, that guy brokers guitars for celebrities, and I think he's got one or two of Eddie's guitars. He's got a bunch of Sam Bora's guitars. He's got a lot of guys' guitars.
He has a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff. He emailed me. Oh no.
Oh, he had that look on his face.
Did he have anything?
I don't think so.
Every night. Last night he brought in a baby mouse that was still alive.
Baby mouse. Oh no.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Every night he's bringing this stuff in here.
That's his job, though. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Top of the food chain.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's leaving, so I guess
he was in and out a lot last night.
He went to go measure what was the room left in his bowl, and now he's going to bring it in.
Hey, Dave, can you see the chat or no?
No, I can't.
Okay, so G. Bushnoff, real quick. G. Bushnoff says, "Love you, Dave." Mike is himself says, "I'm glad you're feeling and looking better, Dave." There's a few other people that when you jumped in were saying their well wishes for you. So
thanks. I apologize that I can't see the chat. I'm on my phone. Everything is very small to begin with.
Oh,
including the stuff on the phone.
He's got the Irish curse.
But that guitar makes up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guitar looks big.
And it's really not. The guitar is very small.
Here's the one on Rockstar Guitars.
I know there's a pink one. Is that pink?
Yeah, it may not come across as pink, but
that was the one. That was the one that I matched mine against to see. As far as that's the early serial number one.
It's pretty good looking though.
Yeah, that's the first pink that ever came out for Eddie.
Whoa.
I know there's a black one. There's a purple one as well.
Does it say a price on that one, John?
Hold on.
I think they all say sold on them.
Yeah.
Dave, my pink is allegedly the third one made.
Yeah, yours.
Yeah.
I remember that. That's a great guitar.
Tessie says tons of love for Dave, and then he says John Mancuda is going to buy it. Wait and see.
There's a whole story behind it. This is Ed's 91 Ernie Ball Music Man prototype serial 80,008, known as Pinky, owned and used by Ed.
Mm-hmm.
One of the earliest Music Mans built by Ernie Ball for Ed.
Wow.
The first pink Music Man.
Now, is there a signature on the headstock?
If there is, it should be black.
I don't see any close up of it. Hold on. Yeah, I can't click on the pictures. They're not coming up.
My pink was made on July 8th of 1991, and it's supposed to be the third one. It's 80.
So it's probably made that's in around the same time as this one.
Yeah,
I would imagine probably the same day.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me look. Because I think.
What's the serial number? Because his was 80,008.
What page are you on, John?
It's just Rockstar Guitars.
I got it. Yeah, it's sold. It says it's sold.
Johnny, screen sharing, my friend.
I know. I'm working on it. I'm working.
Oh yeah.
The Trans Pinks, they did one. July 5th is going to be when Eddie's was made. So 3 or 4 days later.
What's your serial number?
8149.
8149. So yours was made shortly after then.
Yeah. Yeah, but the serial numbers with Ernie Ball.
Yeah, they were all random.
Sequential. Right. Yeah, they're not sequential by the date of manufacture.
No, there you go.
Yeah, and that's the purple one underneath it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great top on that guitar. But everything that Eddie got had a top like that.
Of course, yeah. They probably handpicked them.
But if it
Case
has
candy,
I think if it has a signature on it, it should be black.
I don't see. I mean, it's hard to tell, but I don't see a signature on there.
Yeah.
Can you see, Joey?
The early ones had black signatures, or the other way around. I think mine has a black or a pink. I don't remember.
If that was a prototype, it probably didn't then, correct?
Yeah,
well,
the prototypes usually did not.
It does, but it's silver. It's silver.
Hang on, let's look and see if mine is silver or black.
I mean, according to these pictures, that's possibly the one that he played at NAMM in '91 when they introduced them. Remember that Musician magazine?
Do you have a picture of that of him playing it at NAMM? Because you could be able to tell by the top on it, right?
But open up.
Here's mine. It has a similar top.
Hang on.
Mine has a similar top to it. And
With dorks.
Yeah.
Craig, hey now.
They started out with silver signatures on them, and then they switched them over to black.
Wonder what the reason was.
I have no idea, but the early ones have silver signatures on them.
Yeah, this one has a signature.
The Eddie one does?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
It's silver.
Yeah. The early ones have silver, and then they switched it to black later on.
Sorry, you're spotlighted. I'm just trying to.
That's all right. I look sexy.
Yes, you do.
And let's
Cheers.
The only people who put iced tea in Jim Beam bottles is the Clash, baby.
Okay, so
Thumbnail.
assuming that's the same guitar, it does have a thing on the top there.
Yeah, it's got a silver signature on it.
But yeah, there was a picture. Oh, there he is at NAMM. Okay.
So that must be the one then.
And I guess that's it at NAMM. Well, it's black and the thing is, it's a black and white
Yeah.
guitar, and he played two different guitars. He also played the yellow one, so that actually.
Didn't he play a red one in right here, right now?
Yeah, it was I believe on the second night. He played the red one for at least one song. I think Judgment Day.
Oh yeah, I do. Maybe I do see a signature on the headstock, and at that angle, you can kind of see
Yeah.
something at the tip.
There is. I can see it. Yeah. Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, it's a great guitar, man.
No, I mean this is a cool feature.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually talking about guitars, which is cool.
Yeah.
I know. I was told to come in to save the show.
Oh.
by himself, by David Nesdahl.
No, by someone else named David.
David Lee Roth.
No.
Did we talk about the fact that he's opening for Kiss now?
I saw that. Yeah. I don't know if you guys talked about it.
They announced him for here in Phoenix too. He's going to be playing the show here in Phoenix.
Isn't it bigger news that if he's doing that and doing the whole Vegas thing, he's got to be out of Van Halen?
Pretty much.
Shouldn't that be bigger news?
Well,
there is no Van Halen.
If he's opening for Kiss, it's a good business move for him.
Sure.
Of
That's
course
a good
it is.
business move.
Yeah, because if Dave doesn't open for Kiss, he's playing, clubs.
Yeah.
1,500 seat clubs.
Or Vegas.
Well, that's
But
Vegas.
still, probably, only a couple thousand anyway. Theaters.
He can't play, but Dave can't fill theaters now.
Oh
Well,
my
what's he
God.
playing at Vegas? He must be playing a
Look
big
at that comment. Krell Bar. That is one of the best. That's like that should be the name of the tour.
Kiss him and smile.
Kiss him and smile. Are you kidding me?
There you go.
That's great.
Kiss him and smile.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing, by the way, he's playing a casino in Vegas, John, and casinos notoriously overpay because it's a loss leader.
Oh, yeah.
They don't give a shit about how much the band gets paid in the casino because that 1,500 or 2,500 or whatever that theater holds, everybody coming through the door is going to hit 2 or 3 slots on the way in and maybe a table on the way out. They
And
don't
it's
give a shit.
and any casual person on the boardwalk is they'll be selling tickets or they'll be giving away tickets if it's not selling out too, so it'll be like I would think that those shows will all be full theaters, I would think.
Yeah, and the other thing is there's going to be in Vegas, you're going to see people that are going to be like, oh, it's David Lee Roth, and these are going to be people that haven't seen David Lee Roth recently.
Yeah.
So
You're not going to have
an attraction.
Right. Like anything in Vegas, yeah.
And I think he's more suited for Vegas at this point in his
Even a
career.
casual fan's going to see him if you're in Vegas that weekend. I mean, if there's a ticket available,
Yeah.
I was watching the Kimmel. I was watching some of the sound check from it, which was kind of cool. Somebody was just way up in some office building shooting down and watching the sound check, and it starts off with just nothing, and then Ed starts playing through his whole system, and you can hear it kind of reverberating through the whole downtown LA or Hollywood, wherever that was.
We got thrown out of the amphitheater here in Phoenix when we were broadcasting. We went inside to do sort of like a behind the scenes thing, and they had come out to do their sound check. So we're standing over by the soundboard, and I got my iPhone like this, and I'm just filming Eddie doing his warm up sound check and shit like that. And finally, security said, "You guys got to get out of here." They didn't try and grab my phone though, so I still have the video somewhere.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they threw us out.
Wow, that's cool.
Even the audio from that would be cool to hear.
Well, not with that guitar tone, but
Yeah. I may have it on a phone somewhere. Let me look.
Well, I gotta tell you, I mean, I saw it live, like we probably all have, and live, it sounded a lot better than it does when you hear it back after all the shit's been on.
Yeah, a lot of those bootleg,
like any of the bootlegs or even the Japanese live show that they put out.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible compared to what it sounded live, because it sounded like Van Halen. It sounded like great tone live. It really did.
wow. Well, maybe the mix engineer who mixed the live audio doesn't know what he's doing. But
Well, I mean, it had to sound close to that because I don't think Eddie would approve it if it didn't sound the way he thought it should sound.
I'm gonna go see if I can find the video. Hang on a second.
Yeah. Oh, you can't hear me. Yeah, that'd be awesome to see that. We should get Fret Level Midnight. His question here though. Tips for setting the pickup height on a 24 fret.
humbucker single.
Yeah.
Hum sing.
I'm saying.
I mean, I don't really have any tips. You just, for me personally, I don't use a ruler. I just go by what sounds good, what sounds, I tend to.
That's the only way to really get it perfect.
I
by
tend
ear.
to keep my pickups as low as possible to the body and let the amp do the work. That's what I tend to do because I want to hear the sound of the wood of the guitar, not the sound of the pickup.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things is if you have your pickup too close to the strings, it can actually it can create like some weird magnetic
Oscillating.
yes,
An oscillating
stuff.
sound because the magnets of the pickup is drawing the string to it.
It'd be pulling
So
towards
it's
it.
it's going to cause an oscillation sound.
How does this look? Oh, dropping shit out of there.
Now, I think your pickups are too close, man. But you like that sound, so I mean,
Well, the guy who installed them adjusted them. I didn't do this.
yeah, I
You know?
think personally, I think they should come down a tiny bit. Your pickup should go into the body a tiny bit more.
Well, the amazing thing is they sound friggin' like
Oh, well, if it sounds great, I would leave it then.
There's always a sweet spot for any pickup. I mean, just because it's closer to the string doesn't mean it's going to be louder or hotter. You know.
well,
The
isn't
mag-
it the closer to the string, it string pull and you lose a little bit of sustain, correct?
Mhm.
There's
Correct.
string pull, and you get more distortion
Yeah.
because they get louder, even on the clean
maybe I
channel.
should pull the humbucker or the bridge pickup, put that one down a little bit because that is super hot.
Mhm.
Actually, I disagree with you. The neck pickup should be a little bit lower because the neck pickup usually is hotter than the bridge pickup. It just usually is. You don't want it to be, but it usually is because there's
Well, this one isn't. I know that because that bridge pickup is super hot, and the neck pickup, I guess, it's not as hot as the bridge, but because they're not matching, they're not a matching pair or whatever.
Mhm.
I'm losing my voice. What the hell's going on here?
just reaching puberty, right?
I finally it's only taken me.
I know. It took me to be in a hospital and a rehab to get witty. I know.
You just got to do the show from there every night, man. Hey, I'm here. Have Mancuda show up with you with the lab coat on. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
We had another question earlier, Johnny. Quentin James asked, oh, shit. He said, hey, kids, I want a Superstrat with a Floyd. I guess his budget is between $500 and $700. What should I look at? Again, first question would be, what music?
Made in Mexico Charvel. Like a Charvel Soquel. Or, yeah, I guess it's called a Soquel or something. Charvel made in Mexico Soquel. They're like $800. Basically, it's the same guitar as a Stripe Series Van Halen with 2 pickups or 3 pickups.
You could look for a used Ibanez too. Use Ibanez Saber, something like that.
Saber. Tessie says Charvel Pro Mod.
That's the word, Pro Mod. Yeah, Pro Mod if you don't Pro Mod if you don't want a pick guard, and SoCal if you want a pick guard.
The Charvel makes a great. I think it's a Pro Mod series that's in the shape of a Telecaster. That's really, really, really good guitar.
I don't know how much longer I can stay on here because I can't really keep my foot down, or else it's a little bit annoying. But I'll stay on as long as I can.
Now, are you in a private room?
Yes.
All right, so like visiting hours and all that shit doesn't apply to you.
Visiting hours in the whole place is 24 hours a day.
Michael
cool.
Michael Bangelo.
Nice.
I can't take credit for that because Rob sent me that. Rob from Tessie Switch sent me that picture and said my new alter ego, Michael Bangelo. That's
It looks
pretty
a little
good.
bit like Wolf Hoffman from Accept with banjos.
Oh man. Brett McCord said the Jackson Dinky.
That's what I was going to say. Jackson is not the good option.
And Rafael Lugo says greetings from Miami. Hello there.
Hey, man.
So
We got to get Caleb in here soon. There's big doings in Nerd Halen land.
And get the big Christmas song up on Apple Music.
That's right.
Awesome.
And they just played the Viper Room last week. I don't know. Was that last week or?
We got to ask.
A couple days ago or something.
Yeah, they played like Friday night.
Isn't that last night?
That was
Yeah.
last night. Yeah,
Well, I just looked up and saw Sunday.
it was yesterday.
It was yesterday. Sorry, I saw Sunday.
Well, it's Sunday now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Johnny in Johnny Land,
Not here.
and Paul Land. It's
It's only 11:02 here.
Yeah, it's only 10:02 here.
Well, it's 102 here.
Yep. Is Caleb still here? Nerd Hale.
Oh, Michael Smith's out there. Hey, Michael.
Michael Smith. Holy crap. Michael Smith, man. Some of that stuff you've been posting, dude. Oh, my gosh.
And he wonders why he gets banned.
I know.
The captain's in the chat, everybody. Thinks it's the captain. David Nesdall's in the got the 5150. What the hell?
I don't want to play too much of it. We can.
No, yeah.
That's crazy. Classic Michael Smith. Classic Michael Smith.
Wow.
So what's going on with everyone else? I haven't seen you guys in quite a while. Don't talk about
It's the same shit, dude.
I've been playing video games all day.
Really?
Game of choice.
Mm-hmm.
What were you playing?
I was playing a game called Postal. You guys know that? Do you know Postal?
Never heard of it. Let's
I know
check
what
it
you're
out.
talking about. It's kind of like a Grand Theft Auto type of game where you
Yeah,
just
you can.
It's insane. A friend of mine was in a movie, the movie version. Postal was a video game originally, years ago,
Mhm.
and then this guy made a film, and a friend of mine starred at. Well, should I say who he was?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bin Laden. He played Bin Laden in the movie. But you also might know him as the guy who wouldn't give George bread on Seinfeld. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid. Yeah.
So anyway, they did a screening in San Francisco, and I went to the screening. I met up with Larry, that's his name, and he gave me a copy of this video game. He's like, "Here, there's a video game this movie was made of. I don't play games. Here you go." And I've been playing it ever since. It's been years now. It's called Postal 2,
Mhm.
and it's insanity. So anyway, I just happened to have that stuff loaded onto this main computer here for years and years and years, and I just happened to I played it for I don't know a few hours today.
7, 8, 9, 11
Yeah.
hours.
I'll go old
Yeah.
school for you, John. This will be good for you because you're a nerd. You'll like this.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Oh,
I do
had-
remember that.
I had that one. Yeah.
Triple X-Wing versus the Pie Fighter.
Starring
That was-
Johnny Wad.
Starring C13PO.
That was one of my first PC video games.
It's a great video game. I mean, it's simple. I mean, it's but
Oh, the like the Rebel Assault ones, all those early like the '90s Lucasfilm video games were cool. I remember those, the PC games.
yeah.
That was my extent. I mean, I never really got into like we were talking earlier, like the consoles, like the PlayStation, stuff like that. Nintendo never had any of that, but I always had one or two games on a PC that I, like Call of Duty that I could go to, or like one of the Lucas games or something like that. But I'm definitely not a gamer. Once in a while I'll find a good game. I mean, it's kind of like you, Johnny. I mean, I'll find a game that I've played for years. I have a couple of little puzzle games and stuff on my phone that I play. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. We should actually find a game that we can all like and all play together. And
I know you were trying to do that
and actually stream it.
Yeah,
we could do one of these
Leroy
nights.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
I used to do Age of Empires. That was one that I used to do. That was fun.
That's old school Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. That's. I heard it was like totally like put together too.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Like pro wrestling, it's not real.
What was that from? I know the soundbite Leroy Jenkins, but what's the original?
The alleged thing behind it is a bunch of World of Warcraft guys. Apparently, there's this guy. The kid name was supposed to be Leroy Jenkins, and they're all playing, cooperative online. And this one guy runs into a room and gets all fucked up. They all die.
This is a video game, right?
Yeah, it's a video game. Yeah, it happens online, and they all die. And like the audio track from it is hilarious. And then
there's video too. Yeah,
there's video of it. And then allegedly another gamer died, and they were holding an online funeral for this gamer.
Oh my goodness!
And it's all bullshit. But in the beginning, everybody bought it. They're holding this online funeral, so they're all like in this virtual reality world. And Leroy Jenkins kicks in the door and starts shooting everybody. And it's hilarious and yet nerdly at the same time.
Man, I thought I was being a nerd. I play Tennis Clash.
What is that?
It's a tennis game. You play against other people around the world.
Oh no shit!
You played on your phone or online?
You play on your phone. It's Tennis Clash. It looks like a real tennis match. It's amazing.
Well, that's cool.
Now, do you play real tennis?
I used to. Yeah.
Dave Fruitcake says, "Tell Dave hello for me, please. Nice to see him and Merry Christmas."
And Fruitcake, I have got your texts, and I've gotten everyone's texts and messages, and it's overwhelming how many people have reached out to me. So please forgive me if I haven't reached back out. It's just it's like I said, overwhelming, and if I don't get back to you individually, look out for a group, like a big message for me soon. So I don't want to really. I don't really want to, say I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be, or it's not. Until I go to the doctor on next Thursday, because this thing has been wrapped up since Thursday, and I go see the podiatrist next Thursday, and it's not getting unwrapped until I see him. So I don't know what's going on underneath there. It looks good, and I don't have any fevers. Everything looks good, but I don't want to say, "Hey, I'm doing great," until I know for a fact everything is okay. So
now, do you have PT coming up after that? Little therapy. Learn how to walk on it again and all that shit, because they say when you lose a toe, like your whole equilibrium goes off on your foot.
I think it's if you lose your big toe, because I had already lost a toe on that foot. So this is my second toe. I have 3 toes now on that foot.
So you're like Tom Dempsey.
Whoever that is.
Tom Dempsey was a kicker for the Detroit Lions he was a thalidomide guy, so he had a hammer foot with no toes and like the flipper arm and something like that. He used to hold the record for the NFL longest kick for 63 yards back before it got broken a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like Django Reinhardt for your feet.
I think starting Monday, I'm going to have some sort of PT but probably to get my arm strength and leg strength back up again. Which, all right. I will say when I got admitted here yesterday, the physical therapist came and they wanted to know what kind of strength I had. So on my arm strength, I'm very strong. And my leg strength is very strong, and I was able to get up out of my bed just by sure arm strength and get myself into my wheelchair. And I was able to stand up on one foot for a couple seconds. So they said my physical therapy, once I'm able to weight bear on that foot, will not be very long. So that's what I'm going on. The sutures come out in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from this past Thursday. So not this coming Thursday, but the week after that, the sutures come out. And if all is well, yes, correct. If all is well, I should be able to put pressure on that foot. If that's the case, it should be about a week of PT, and then I should be able to go home. So, or maybe even less than a week. It depends. It really, I don't know what's in store for me yet. So we'll see what happens. I'm a strong dude. I will say this: since I've been in the hospital, I lost 15 pounds, and I am now 228 pounds, which I don't think I've ever been 228 pounds. But
you came out of the womb?
Sure as shit. They weighed me this morning, and I'm 228 pounds, which is amazing. I feel great.
You and Paul, man, you guys are rocking it. You were even doing good before this, though.
Yeah, I was. I mean, but this has kicked me in the rear end again, and I've learned that I don't need to eat much to be full. And I enjoy good food. Like, I don't need to eat pizza and Submarine sandwiches. Like, the food here and in the hospital I was just at, like the baked chicken was amazing. Everything was amazing. It's like, you'd think hospital food sucks. It's amazing.
Well, for the money you pay for the, it better be gourmet.
Some of the food here is like, man, I think I'd go to the hospital just to eat. Because it's really
That's a good endorsement, man.
Eat and get a sponge bath.
Well, I'm able to bathe myself. So I'm pretty
well, then you're not doing it right, Dave.
Yeah, come on, man.
Make them work for it.
I will tell you guys a story. And I think I might have told this story. I don't remember. I may have.
It's a good one, so tell it again.
So I'm in dialysis at the hospital. And most of the technicians and nurses are of Asian descent, and they're very small and pretty young. So I'm probably the youngest guy in the whole place, because most of these people are elderly. And two of these girls, one was my technician that put my needles in my arm, and the other one was like one of the head nurses, and they were both kind of fighting over which one they wanted me to pick. And I was like dumbfounded. I'm like, I'm a fat bald guy. What are you talking about? And my fiance that I'm in love with is in my room. Oh, you're getting married? Oh, it's too bad, because we both like I've really never dealt with that before in my life. And as it's going on, I'm like, my self-esteem was like in the roof, but I was like, nah, I love what I have. I can't. I couldn't even think about it.
I don't want to be disrespectful, Dave, but when I hear that story, I think of the scene at the end of A Christmas Story with fa ra 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 ra.
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't put that in a movie nowadays. Everybody complain about it.
It's edited out now.
Do they really? Oh my goodness!
Yeah, they edited it out.
It was on last night. TBS started showing it last night. Then they're going to show it all day on Christmas, like they have.
I was like a 24-hour marathon of it or whatever.
I was at an antiques mall today because that's what the girl wanted to do.
I love those places. Those places are great. You can find cool stuff there always.
I was looking for the leg lamp. That's where you find something like that.
Hold on a second.
Absolutely,
Hold
yeah.
on a second.
Oh,
You have it. You
Yeah.
have one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, doesn't Jay have one? He
Of course
had
he
something
does.
from that,
Jerk.
something like that, didn't he?
I think last year he actually had it on the show.
Yeah, I do remember that.
yeah.
Yeah, of course you do. You rotten. prick.
Oh,
That's a major
I think I
award.
watched
is what
Tuesday's
that is.
show too much. I have the mini,
Yep,
the dainty
it's
leg
financial.
lamp.
Yep, you can get that $30 on Amazon.
Is it red though?
I'm gonna plug it in.
Is the real one red? Isn't the real one red?
What?
From
What
the
planet are you on?
show?
You watching too much?
Or
Star
maybe it had a red shade on it.
That's a major award, is what that is. It's
Major
fragile.
award. I won it.
It's fragile. Must be from Italy.
He was so
Fragile.
proud of it.
Only
That's the best
part
thing.
of it like lights up,
oh
and it
my
gets
God.
it gets hot. Like
That thing's awesome.
I'm afraid the fishnets are gonna burn off. My house is gonna burn down.
Well, does it have a real lamp at the top?
Yeah, statue.
It's a major award.
You gotta reach it. You gotta reach up there to turn it on.
It does, but I took it out and used it for something else because I don't plug this in anymore because, like I said,
It's
only lights up
dangerous.
here, and it
Kind
gets
of like the way
so
the line
effing
runs
hot.
down the back of your stocking.
Oh my gosh.
But it's cool though. You know that the top is awesome. It's like mad legit.
No, that thing's great.
Yep.
I was
So-
looking for one of those today at the antique mall.
Ooh. But notice it doesn't have the in the movie. It's got part of the butt cheek.
Yeah.
You know, it goes up pretty good, and this one doesn't have that.
Is it fragile?
Probably yeah, it must be Italian. Probably because somebody complained. Oh, you could see part of the butt.
Right, exactly.
Great movie.
No, it's not. Here's the thing.
You're
It's
so full of
It's great. No, because here's the problem with it. It
Here's
doesn't.
the original,
it.
or the one that's for sale now.
It doesn't. The movie has no continuity to it. It's great if you watch it in little pieces, but if you try to watch it from start to finish, it's a fucking train wreck.
I have to watch it from start to finish.
It's such a nightmare watching it from start to finish.
I haven't. Yeah, to be honest, you only catch it on Christmas and when it's
No
on all
spoilers,
day
John
long.
PL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't spoil that too.
Ralphie dies at the end.
He shoots his eye out.
Yeah.
Ah.
Hey, look, everybody! Caleb Rappaport has joined the
Hey,
festivities.
everybody.
Hey, Caleb.
How's it going?
Caleb,
How are you? Jay, where's your hat?
Nerd
I
Halo.
know. The second I saw him, I was like, ah, shit.
are we doing hats?
Jay
I
was
wore
wearing
that
one of those
night.
last night.
Yeah.
Same one.
But Johnny kept giggling, and I was like, nobody can take me seriously when I'm wearing this thing.
Yeah, but Jay's hat was yellow with a monkey grip in it.
It was a
Mm.
gem Santa hat.
Nice.
So what's happening, Caleb?
Not too much.
Nothing's happening in your neck of the woods, right? Nothing.
Nothing.
Not at all busy.
Not at all. Just released a song. So
Congratulations.
Awesome.
there you go.
Now, did you guys have to get permission to do that song, the publishing and all that shit?
Well, I mean, it took a few days for us to get approved. So I guess it had to go through the proper channels. But
That's awesome.
yeah, I think it's a pretty good cover. So
Well, you gonna say anything about it? You're just gonna
Yeah, let's hear it.
beat around the bush here.
oh, you guys want to know about it? Oh,
Listen to
have-
Humbles over there, Captain Humble.
We have a song that we put out, came out this morning finally, and it's called Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And it's basically our version of the Bruce Springsteen version of the song. So you can get it on iTunes and Spotify and Google Play, all those, everything. It went to every streaming site basically. So pay your $1 and have it on your song list, and I think it's pretty good. Check it out. And by
Congratulations.
the way,
I'm gonna do that right now.
we had a legend, this guy Don Peak, who I've been giving guitar lessons to. He recorded our sessions for the song, and then we took those Pro Tools sessions and shipped them over to South Carolina. A guy named Jay Hannon mixed and mastered
What?
the song.
I
And
heard that asshole.
he did a
Who-
fantastic job too.
Jay
so.
who?
Asshole owes me money.
Jay who?
Well, yeah, no,
Nerd Hannon.
Nerd.
no, Jay did a job. Like, I'll tell you something. From what it sounded like into what it sounds like, it's ridiculous. So,
Well, thanks, man.
Like,
And
do you
it's,
like my Van Halen sock?
yeah,
is that what you're? No, never mind. I was gonna say something, but I probably shouldn't.
hospital humor.
This is my my fleece sock.
That's what you have if you're crossing Abbey Road with nothing but that on your
Yes.
Rob John.
By the way, has anyone mentioned that? I know that we don't really talk about the Red Hot Chili Peppers at all much, but did you guys know that John Frusciante is back in the band?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, the guy that wrote all the hits.
Yeah. Clean and
Before-
sober, back in the band for the third time.
What was the last album he did?
I think it was
Before he-
It was over 10
Californication.
years ago.
Californication is a great album,
Right.
I think it was
California.
Californication was the last one he was on.
You're absolutely right.
and then they turned like really pop after that.
Yeah,
So
but
maybe-
if you look at the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I love the Hillel Slovak years, the early years when they were sort of a punk band and more of
Yes, me
really
too.
way under the radar before Mother's Milk came out. All the big Chili Pepper songs, the band that the guy that made those guys an arena rock band, a stadium rock band, was Frusciante. He's an eccentric. He's very, very good. He's an amazing songwriter, an okay guitar player, but an amazing songwriter. And,
Well, I think he's more than okay guitar player because everything he does is with a clean sounding amp. There's very rarely any distortion on,
right.
and he plays everything pinpoint clean and
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, he's pristine. His
And
picking is
usually-
pristine.
And usually no reverb or delay either. It's just like dry, clean
Yeah.
guitar. And the best thing about him is every guitar he has is a vintage Fender. Everything is like from the 50s and 60s. So that's the show. When you see John Frusciante, you go in there to see the guitar changes because his guitar collection is stupid good.
Can we go back to that, Johnny?
And what a great songwriter. Again,
Yeah.
you talk about when it's all said and done. I have this discussion with people. As much as I love Steve Vai, it's the Steve Vai versus Joe Satriani argument that you hear all the time. Steve Vai is probably the better player of the two, but Satriani writes the more commercially acceptable songs. And the same thing with
Well, I
Frusciante.
don't know. I don't even know about better guitar player. I think they're different enough, but I think Satriani is more mainstream.
Yeah.
But his technique, I think, is better than Vai's. If you listen to Satriani's technique, his picking is a lot cleaner. His note choices are a lot cleaner. But Steve Vai is so kooky with the way he plays that's kind of what piques everyone's interest with him is his note choices. But the performance, I think Satriani has got Vai beat on performance.
Performance?
Are we avoiding the elephant in the room here?
Yeah.
What is happening? We're talking,
I know
Caleb's
that's
like-
why I took it down. But
yeah, we did a Christmas song. Hey, Satriani versus Vai. It's like what?
Sorry.
Red Hot Chili Peppers is back together.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's on there. It's right there in front. Can people see that?
So does anybody in the chat want to ask Caleb like why that song?
Oh,
All that stuff. Like,
Well, where did you record it, Caleb?
at Don Peake's studio, like at his house in Van Nuys.
I think you
California.
posted some pictures from that a month or so ago, didn't you? From that
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, we did the music like over a month ago, and then we did the vocals finally last week.
I just listened to the intro. I was listening to Hal. It sounds good so far. I'll have to listen to the rest later.
Yeah, it gets into it. It gets good, man. It's good.
Yeah, take 3 minutes and 54 seconds.
That's kind of a weird compliment. Sounds good so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, what can I say? I've only heard
That's kind of strange.
the intro. But Hal sounds good.
Yeah, we won't miss you for 4 minutes, John BL. So go ahead.
The most important part of the song is the solo. You know,
Oh, I'm sure.
if the solo sucks, the song sucks.
Did you
So
do a
who-
Clarence Clemens
I
solo?
was gonna say, who played Big Man? Who's the big man when you do that?
Oh, I believe that I did a little homage to
There you
Clarence.
go.
There's a bit of his. It begins like him. Yeah.
Well, Michael Smith says the solo is killer.
Oh yes.
Oh, it must
Thank you.
be.
Who did Little Steven do a solo on the original, or
No,
was
it's
the,
the sax.
oh, just the sax? Okay, just
I'll
the
be
sax,
honest.
man.
I'll be honest, I hate the Springsteen version.
Well, maybe
It's
you like
been
this
played
version.
to death.
No, I like this version. I hate the Springsteen version. I something about Springsteen just rubs me the wrong way.
But it
Well,
is a
I
good.
think
It's a
I
good
think it's
song.
just that years ago, it's like it's been played so much that you're kind of like, but this is a cool spin. It's like, and
Yeah.
Caleb, I don't know if I don't actually, I almost said something that I think you told me that we want to keep it under wraps. So
Yeah.
don't mind me.
So, Caleb, do you think they had to clear it through the Springsteen people or something?
Springsteen didn't write it. Look right there.
Oh,
Written
okay.
by John Frederick Coots.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Gillespie.
Well, isn't it? Is it public domain?
It's not. No.
That one's not, yeah. Because I
Remastered,
I had the same conversation with Caleb. I said, dude, a lot of Christmas songs are just have fun with it. But I guess he found out that this one wasn't like that. So
And that's why they don't do any new Christmas songs. Like there was like that period between like the late 40s and the late 70s where like all the Christmas songs were written and now everybody just covers them.
Mm-hmm.
Because why bother writing a new Christmas song when you can be Mariah Carey and do a version of whatever.
Yeah.
How many different
It's all in
bands
public domain too.
How many different bands do a version of Run Run Rudolph, And
Didn't
look at how-
hers
of them are
go to
great.
#1 twice?
twice?
Yeah.
Like 25 years ago and then today.
Yeah. Well, my
And she looks the same.
my,
Yeah.
my favorite era of Christmas songs.
She's 75.
Jeez.
My favorite era of Christmas songs was the MTV days when the rock and roll heroes of the day, like Bryan Adams and Billy Squier, would cover it live on MTV, and they would do
Or when
their
Bad
song.
News did Cashing In on Christmas. You don't remember that? Bad News was the guys from the Young Ones. They did a thing after the Young Ones. And that was on at the
Oh.
same time in the 80s.
The
What
young
was-
ones. I
Yeah,
remember
are you
that.
talking about the show that was after the Young Ones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bad News.
I remember
Midnight Comic Strip was the name of the comic
crap.
strip.
What was it? Is that what it was called? I remember
Yeah.
for a time on MTV, Sunday nights, you would have the Young Ones, and then you'd have this other show after it, which had the same actors in it.
Midnight Comic Strip. The band is called Bad News.
And
if
they
you
even
Google-
did like their own like Spinal Tap.
Yeah, Cashing In on
Thing.
Christmas was the name of the band. I mean, name
Man,
of the song.
I haven't seen that in years. That was awesome.
What was it? Was it Rick Mayall? He was one of the
Yeah,
actors
Rick,
in that.
Rick Mayall, Adrian Edmondson, Nigel Planer, and I forget
Nigel.
the fourth guy. Yeah,
Yeah, and the smart guy,
Mike, the sexy
Mike.
What was
Yeah.
what was his Nigel's character on the young ones?
one. Neil.
Neil.
Neil and Bob?
Remember that one dude hits him over the head with a shovel and and buries him in the backyard. And
Such a good show.
a bunch of them.
Oh my god.
Motorhead was on it. Dexy's Midnight
Yep.
Runners were on it.
Stuart
I might
Copeland
have-
was on it. He played drums on it with the band.
Yeah. I'm
Mhm.
looking for. I have Neil's Book of the Dead somewhere. He wrote a book.
And then
I'm gonna have to say goodnight, everybody, because 7 a.m. comes quickly. They do vitals and pills at 7 a.m.
And breakfast.
Well, it's like 9 o'clock is breakfast.
That's when the nurses come in?
But yeah, I got to get up early, and I don't want to be cranky because if you're cranky with the nurses and the doctors,
Don't wake me up.
yeah,
They don't change your diaper.
Yeah, basically. So
Be well.
good to see you, Dave. Good to see you doing well.
They don't suck.
Thanks.
What?
Oh,
Good night, Dave.
oh, look at that.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Take
man.
Hi, Dave.
Caleb, congratulations on your song.
Thanks,
And
bud.
I'll see all you guys real soon. Maybe I'll come on Tuesday night's show. We'll see what happens.
All right, cool.
Oh, the big Christmas Eve show.
Oh yeah.
Dave, get better. The rest of it is bullshit. Just get better.
Yeah. Thanks, guys and girls.
Take care, Dave.
Everyone in the chat, good night. Thanks for everything. I'll talk to you all soon.
All
See you,
right.
man.
David
Bye.
Nesdall, everyone.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
What's that CD or DVD you were showing?
Oh no, it's a book.
That's-
It's Neil's Book of the Dead. When you talk about the young ones, the young ones, Neil's Book of the Dead. Neil was the hippie on the young ones.
Right.
Man.
New.
Neil
Used to drink
really
new.
heavy.
New.
Really heavy. So back to Caleb and his song.
Uh-huh.
It's not his song.
It is now.
I've been corrected in the chat. It's not his song. It's not Bruce's song either.
No, it's
No.
Caleb's song now. You do what Van Halen did. When you take a song, you make it your own.
That's
Absolutely.
right. We made it our own Van Halen-ish song.
Take it
So-
because when you make a cover, man, you're halfway there.
That's right.
Is that iced tea?
No, it is not. It is
Nasty.
Jim Beam Apple.
Wow.
Because the only people that put iced tea in Jack Daniels bottles is the Clash, baby.
Was that true, or was that just like
Is that apple juice?
a rumor backstage?
Oh no, make no mistake about it. When Dave was doing when he was drinking the whiskey back on the Filthy Little Mouth tour and having all the devils on the stage that were shooting, they were pissing whiskey out. That was whiskey.
Oh yeah.
If you were within nasal distance of those devils, you could smell the whiskey coming out of there. Yeah,
But did the Clash actually put iced tea in their bottles?
I think a lot of bands did that.
Or was that just like an Us Festival thing that somebody in the Clash did on that night
Well,
that he was reacting to?
Dave being an asshole. I know that's shocking.
yeah, but also that would be a very smart thing to do if you had to perform.
Well, yeah.
And you're obligated to play 2
It would have been
hours,
smart if Dave had done that on that.
and there's a
night.
guarantee.
Yeah.
You're not chugging the real thing. There's no way.
Well, I got to tell you, I haven't been chugging, but I'm about a third of the way through this bottle,
Oh, jeez.
and it's and I don't know that I could play a show.
Well, do you think when Sammy and Michael Anthony are chugging it on the Live Without a Net, do you think that's real?
It's real, but I don't think they're swallowing as much as
I don't know.
it looks
You
like.
guys,
No,
come on.
Why don't you call Sammy?
Let's call Sammy's.
Call Sammy.
Let's call Sammy.
Talk this. So I did. I called him right there from the shop.
So Caleb, in the end, what is the end goal? Just to sort of use the Christmas song as an opportunity to spread the Nerd Halen word.
Yeah, I think it's just good to have a song that's seasonal.
Did you guys send it to like Sirius and all those guys like that so they can put it on their holiday channel?
I haven't sent it personally to them. No, I mean, I don't even
Came
know.
out today, right? So
Yeah, I don't even know how to do that. So if you know how to do that, Paul, help me. For
Yeah,
sure.
email me, text me, and I'll give you a name that we can send it to.
Okay.
Well, Paul, you have a radio, you have a show.
No, he can send it to me. I'll play it. Well, I can't
Shit.
play it. I'm on vacation.
Oh no, you're not. You're gonna go in tomorrow morning.
I'm on vacation.
I'm on vacation until January 6th. This is the longest vacation I've ever taken outside of being fired from a radio station.
Oh, no.
But isn't Christmas really weird though in Phoenix?
It is weird because it's difficult to think about Christmas when it's 75 degrees out.
All the songs about snowing and
Yeah. Well,
all
like,
this stuff.
What sucks is when you see like TV commercials and all the car dealerships are doing things about, the guy that buys 2 GMC Yukons for his girlfriend and himself, and they're all surrounded by snow, or one of those luxury cars that has a red bow on it. I'm like, where the hell is that taking place? Doesn't happen here. Same thing in Southern California, though. I imagine it's the same.
Caleb,
Yeah.
I gave it 5 stars. Is that
Thanks,
too
bud.
much?
Before you even
Is that
listen,
too much? No, I listened to the intro. The intro was worth 5 stars.
So I want to hear
That's
about.
the commitment that we're looking for, John. Beane.
Listen, it's the best
You're
new
not
song
willing to-
I've heard this year. And
You're not
it's the
willing
end
to
of
pay
2019. It's the best new song I've heard this year.
You'll
Thank
listen
you.
to the intro, but $1 is too much to ask for.
Well,
I
I want to
paid
hear
for
about when you guys recorded it, like how the session go and all that stuff.
Do you do any overdubs?
Oh, sure. the recording session was me and the drummer and our second bass player played the song all the way through like 5 times.
It looks like Caleb's reading lines on the teleprompter above the camera.
And
the drummer and the bass player.
Around the 5th time, yeah, we got it down. So and then I put a solo over it that I didn't like and changed, and then eventually changed some guitar parts, left some in, and then like several weeks later we got the vocals done at the same place we did the recording, and then Jay did a bunch of magic. So that's about it.
Well, I will say one thing. I had Caleb redo something on the guitar track, and next thing you know, he sent me back a track with a bunch of like extra guitar parts. And when I spoke to him on the phone after that, he was like, "So what'd you think of all the, I'm like, well, if it was something Van Halen did back then, they wouldn't have done that." And he's like, "Yeah, you got a point. You're right." So I think I maybe took a squeal or something, somewhere. But other than that, I mean, I wanted it to sound pretty raw. It's like from that early '80s Van Halen sound. It's raw stuff,
Jay, you worked from the multi-tracks, like the original.
Oh yeah, the
raw multi-tracks.
Sent me the actual Pro Tools session.
The stems.
No, not even the stems. The whole. I had every single,
Yeah, he could change the mics on the drums and everything. Like he could do everything.
Wow. Just every single thing. So
I'm listening to Caleb talk about, I had the bass player do this, not naming anybody, and I hear Roth going, "Let's hear it for the keyboard player."
Well, the bass player, Rob Lontock was our backup bass player. Who we have a backup bass player in Nerd Halen because our first string bass player, Victor Broden, is so busy all the time. So.
Is he a broker or something, or a banker?
No, he's just playing a lot of gigs and playing with a lot of people, and obviously there's a money, like figure that he'll take the biggest check. So we can't command his fee every time. So
that's the best gig in music right now, is to be a decent bass player. Everybody wants, being a bass player, you always find work.
Yeah, and he does a lot of work. I mean, he's Mitch, what's his name?
Malloy.
Mitch Malloy's bass player. So he's a lot of people.
But Mitch is in Great White now.
Right, but Mitch has his own little solo thing. So, but so Victor does a lot of work. But anyway, so we couldn't use Victor for the session, but then he came in later and redid his part, and then after that I did the solo at the end, and the parts where I'm tapping and the parts where I'm picking, I did at the end too. So from a different location.
Location unknown.
But yeah, it came together nice, and I'm very happy with it.
Did you do some recording at home, or was it at a different studio? Or okay.
No, I actually plugged in to my just little plug-in rig that I have that plugs into my GarageBand into my Mac here. It's nothing.
That's a beautiful thing. A lot of people think you need Pro Tools to actually make a record. You can do an MP3 or a WAV as an MP3 or a WAV, no matter what software you use to record it. And then you just email it to somebody, as long as whoever's using what they're using masters it with whatever program they're using. All that stuff is universal. So it's amazing how much you can make a record. Like the 5 of us right now could write parts and then just email it to somebody in parts unknown and put together a record. You don't even have to be in the same state anymore.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Which is amazing in one way, but it also sucks in another. It's like, a band can put out a record and not play anything together ever.
Yeah.
Whereas like back in the day, it's like they, for the most part, those guys play in the same room when they recorded.
I'm old
Mhm.
school that way too. Like I'm a big fan of being in the room, like the old school Van Halen way or the Allman Brothers way, where everybody's got their shit mic'd and you play it live and somebody rolls tape and let's see what happens. I think that magic and that chemistry of a live performance, you feed off of each other.
Mhm.
I think there's something lost when you, and no offense intended, Caleb, for you, isolating your guitar tracks, but I think there's a difference between playing in your own home studio and playing with 4 other guys in the room.
Well,
I think you play differently.
can I answer this for you, Caleb?
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys did play together, am I right?
Yes.
So when you listen to the drum tracks, I can hear Caleb's guitar bleeding through. And when he told me that, when he asked if I'd be interested in doing it, I was like, ooh, like, because I mix a lot of like metal, and metal is different. Like everything's close mic'd. You don't want to hear any bleed from anything else. But it wasn't. I mean, when you listen to the song, you can't tell at all. It's like it's in there. And plus, Caleb played it tight the first time through with the drummer, and you could hear it through the room mics and the overheads and stuff. But it's not something that like you can't even notice it. So.
Oh, and I want to be clear. I wasn't assuming that Caleb and those guys isolated everything and just mailed it off to each other. I was using that as an example of how technology has allowed us to make records now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you.
I certainly wasn't trying to cast aspersion on your way.
Well, I apologize if I made it seem like you were trying to do that.
No.
You guys are so polite.
And I would prefer.
It's Christmas time.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, it would have been, a couple of days working up that song in rehearsals and then getting in a studio, the 3 of us, and playing it live all the way through. I think it would have worked perfect, but we don't have that time to actually do that. So when we actually got together and played it in the studio was the first time we ever played it through. So by the 5th time, we had what we thought was the right thing. And then we started to fix stuff. So
we literally yesterday, one of the bits that Mark and I do on the morning show is we do a thing called a Build-A-Band, where we basically assemble half a dozen listeners. We get a couple of guitar players and bass players and stuff, none of whom know each other, and we get in the studio and try to bang out a song. We did Run Run Rudolph and Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree yesterday with 4 other people with whom we'd never met until they walked into the studio, and just everybody sort of knew the songs offhanded. So the idea of getting in a room and doing it for the first time together can be either glorious or a train wreck. So when you've got
do you broadcast that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
We did it live on the air yesterday.
That's a great idea.
It's a fun little thing to do. It's kind of like the old No Bozos jams where you get 5 people from 5 different bands and you pull a song out of a hat and go, have at it. And it's something that only we can do because Mark is a decent guitar player. My partner is a decent guitar player. And I will either sing or play bass depending on what we have going on. And it's just fun live radio to be able to do something like that. But we grabbed a bunch of listeners and did that. And what you're saying, Caleb, the idea that you have an opportunity to practice this thing by yourself and then get into a room and do it for the first time or whatever is, like I said, it can be either magic or a train wreck.
Yeah.
And obviously when you've got proficient musicians like you guys have in Nerd Halen, it makes it, you're already halfway there. With no, and I don't mean that to be disparaging. I mean, it is, you guys already know what you're going to do by the time you walk into the studio. All it's going to do is get better.
Sure. But I'll be honest, it sounded pretty rough. I'd say it was like a 4.5 when, I had the tape of it to get it to where Jay got it to, like it's, in a 9.2 in my opinion, something. So
there's room for improvement is what you're saying.
Well, there's always room for improvement. But.
Well, I don't want to sound, I hate patting myself on the back, but when I heard because it wasn't, Don didn't mix it, So yeah. when I heard the bounce down before Caleb sent me the tracks, or before Don sent me the tracks, Caleb told me on the phone, he's like, I'm kind of happy with how it sounds now. So if it can sound any better, it's like it's a win. And I heard it and I was like, oh, it's gonna sound better. So,
it did.
But it was cool because I'd never really done anything like that before. And, of course I'd like to. I'm a Van Halen fan. So
I think it's awesome that Caleb and the guys in the band would trust Jay and his abilities to take something and mix it and then release that. Like, let's give credit where credit is due. Musicians, all of us are musicians to a certain degree. But to be able to take something, to trust somebody to take your music. I mean, nobody likes to be told their baby is ugly. And when Caleb says to him, hey, this record sounds pretty good already, can you make it sound better? Jay goes in there, puts his touch on it, and it does sound better. And Caleb and the guys trust it and say, this is the part we're going to put out to the public and say stuff. Give credit where credit is due. That's pretty
well.
cool.
I know
And
Jay. I know
amazingly
Jay makes his living, doing this. So I wasn't going to doubt that he could do it. But I also have, it's like, when I got married, I used the people in my wedding party and our good friends and to help with all the stuff and the prep and all the day of stuff. And I like that I'm using Jay to be a part of this because he's a friend and he likes what I'm doing. He's like he has an interest in what I'm doing, and it's kind of like
I don't want to let you down.
No, but you also, I think you know more about what I want than if I was to go call somebody who I heard was great.
Call Sammy. Why don't you call Sammy?
Call Sammy. They called me right from his shop.
So I called him right there. I said, you got his number? No, but I just
whenever someone says call Sammy, then someone has to say it just deadpan. So I called him right there from his shop.
I called him right there from the shop. But I mean, seriously, for those people that are in the chat, and those that have never been musicians, it is, when somebody takes something and they create something on their own, even though it's a cover song, there's still a piece of your own soul that's in that. Now you're handing it to somebody outside of the bubble, the circle of trust, if you will, and they take it and then they sort of put their own thing on it and then hand it back to you as an artist. Like there's a whole lot of trust and vulnerability that has to go in there. And it sucks to hear somebody tell you, hey, I didn't use this thing that you put your heart and soul into. I did something else and made it work out. And in the end, everybody kind of comes to a consensus, and now it's out there for the world to consume. That's a brave thing to do from a vulnerability standpoint.
Yeah, and it all happened in less than a week as far as getting the vocals on it finally to getting it through. It took like 3 or 4 days just to go through the mechanical uploading channel, to get it live, to get it to be dropped. So, well, not that this was the case during this session, but I mean, it's terrible for me when I have to call somebody from a band and say, hey, you got to redo a certain part because either it's out of tune or if it's just the take wasn't good. Yeah. Or something, it's hard to do that, but sometimes it's just, if you want it to sound good, it's got to sound good. My name's on it too,
I've sat in the studio with a fairly major band and watched a fairly major producer, a guy that's produced some big fucking records in the 80s, sit there and make that phone call and say, hey, I need you to recut something. And the tension in the room to hear the guy, there's like a pregnant pause, and the guy goes, well, what was wrong with it? And now it gets ugly. Now it gets, and he said, look, I'm not going to tell you what's wrong with it. It's not wrong, but I think we can make it better. Mm-hmm. Do me a favor, come down to the studio. I think that's a good thing anytime. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's why they hire an outside producer. That's why a guy like Bob Ezrin or Bob Rock or Mutt Lang, that's why you hire that guy. Or you want to hear that from a good producer. You want to hear that, and you want to hear. Well, and then there's we can make this better.
Then there's times, and Caleb, this wasn't involved in this, but in other sessions with other bands, it would be like I'll get sent something. I'll be like, how did they not hear this note bent either sharp or flat? How did they not hear that?
Jay, do me a favor. Jay, do me a favor and explain to me how a band like 6 Feet Under or Meshuggah or pick whatever band you have. All right. So there's 4.5 minutes of and they end it, and the producer goes, yeah, we got it.
Well, Meshuggah is a different story. I mean, how do you can't have any, how do you sing over it?
You know what I'm saying? Relative. Like, how do you get in there? How does a producer hear like this thrash death?
I don't know.
Like grindcore band and says, we need another take of that.
That's what I say about like a hip hop band or like someone who's just sitting there, yeah.
No, but no, hold on a second.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan of that type of stuff, but I will say that I'm a fan of Meshuggah, right? And their last few albums have kind of been, not as good for me, but whatever. But being a metal fan and a fan of like bands that have screaming vocals, there are certain screams where you feel it. You know what I mean? There's certain screams like that guy put his ass into that one.
Oh, I feel that way about everything that Devin Townsend does. Like
Devin Townsend,
phenomenal.
oh god, that guy's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pete Townsend?
No.
Well, him too, but you know.
So how did you know Caleb? At what point did you guys know that you were done? Like you sat back and like at what point do you say to yourself, okay, this is as much as we're going to get out of this session for a Christmas song? And you say to yourself, we captured the spirit of the song, we captured the spirit of the band, we captured the spirit of the vibe that we were going for with us being Nerd Halen, because there's got to be that sort of consistency with it.
You know, I think I said, okay, I think we got something, knowing that I was going to be, you know, picking and you know, tossing at it. So I just needed something workable, you know, that we could go forward with. So
how do you know when to let it go?
That's a great question, because I don't think you ever do. And you know, I was able to record a solo that I liked and am happy with, but there was a few on there over the few weeks that I had that I didn't like, and knew in the back of my head, like, this thing's not coming out with that solo on it. and I can only imagine, like, for guys like, you know, Eddie Van Halen, who had to record these records in 5 days and get them ready for release. And how many amazing solos where we're like still going, oh my God, that solo. Yeah. And he recorded that solo, and then later on the tour, like, came up with a better part that he likes better, that wished he could have put on the record.
That was Fair Warning. I mean, when him and you know, they would sit in the studio late at night, and just the two of them.
Even after that is
back then the release dates is oh my God, I'm getting loaded. The release dates were set before the albums were even recorded.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Jay, here's my question to you. I don't know how proficient a guitar player you are, because I've only seen like snippets of what you do.
He's all right.
On this.
He's all right.
All right. He's all right. He's like, who just got reinstated. Well, not officially. But Caleb is clearly a proficient guitar player.
Yes.
You as a producer, mixer, somebody who asks a band, who tries to get the best out of a band, is it awkward for you to call Caleb or to email Caleb and say, look, Caleb, I don't think you got what you're capable of getting out of this take. Can you send me another track? Like, how do you feel about that? Does that now I'm getting in a radio interview question.
I know.
Does that question your friendship, or does that is Caleb able to put that aside and say, I know why he's asking this?
Let me answer. If it's Caleb for Jay, it's nah, fuck him, I don't care. But if it was like Prince, you know, Jay wouldn't be going, you know, I think you're a little pitchy on that one note.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, you're gonna tell Richie Blackmore he doesn't know what he's doing.
Peter North, that one note, it went shot too hard on that one. No, I think it's as a guitar player, and I could speak for all of us, I guess. Like,
right.
You know how much time you spend writing a solo, or even just a guitar part, and when somebody comes at you with, hey, you know, something either isn't good enough, or there's a note here that maybe is weird, or it's.
It comes down to trust. I mean,
yeah, I know how it feels to have when you spend time working something out for, you know, I spend weeks on solos.
Yeah, the reason you don't want to keep going is not because you don't feel like you can't get it better. It's because you feel like I can probably only get it that good.
I think that sometimes it's not necessarily the criticism; it's the delivery of the criticism. I think sometimes you say, it's not like you say, "Hey, this isn't good enough." You say, "Hey, man, I think we can get something more out of it." I think how you deliver the message can dictate
singers are different than guitar players, right? And drummers, you just tell them, "Dude, that take sucked. You got to do it again."
Right?
They're like, "Okay," and they go right back at it.
I'd love to see like Zach Wilde, if you're like, so the No More Tears solo. Were you cool with that? You know, or
no, it's like the toughest thing to do is to tell Zach he can't sing.
Because that's the toughest thing. That's like the greatest solo to me. That's like one of the greatest solos ever played and recorded. I love that solo so much.
I think it's a lot about like, does a band trust the person that's either producing or engineering or mixing their record. Like if they don't trust them, then why are you?
Yeah.
But that's a tough thing for you to do though, because it's a balance between, hey, I want to, you hired me to give you this level of expertise or proficiency, and on the other hand, they're the boss because they're writing the check.
Yes.
So it's like you have to be very careful about saying, hey, this is what you brought me in for. But if you're too adamant about what you want to get done, they go, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to get somebody else.
Well, it's like Metallica on the Black Album with that. I mean, all the behind the scenes stuff on that. I mean, that's exactly what Bob Rock was doing,
and that's what Metallica needed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if a band, and I've had it happen one time where like I suggested something where had somebody retrack something, and they were like, no, I think it's good enough as it is, and I was like, all right, well, that's that's fine.
So there's a point at which you'll say, hey, I understand you're writing the check, so fuck it if that's the way.
Yeah, if the producer's like, if you're happy with it, I mean, okay, but it's not up to my standards. But if you're happy with it,
I give my opinion. I give my opinion.
Said it though. His name is on it. So if your name is on it, there's got to be a certain level of investment to say, look, this is me too. I know you guys created the music, but the sound is me. And if you're not going to give me the best that I can work with, then I'm not delivering for you. I don't want my name on it.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of putting it out there.
There's a fine line. There's definitely a gray area to where, like, I mean, if something is so bad where you're like, guys, there's no way you can put it out like this, then that's
I would think.
But if something is just like, I think it lacks a little energy, or it needs something here, and a band is like, nah, it's fine the way it is, then okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you just make it sound as good as you can.
Yeah.
Any producer invests a lot of, invests in any band that they're producing, and they're putting everything that they can into it, and they're going to give it their best shot. So, I mean,
and I want the reaction that Caleb had when he called me up after I mixed it and said, dude, it's, I don't want to get crazy here, but I don't want a band to like get me to mix a song and then be like, yeah, it sounds all right. I want to wow them. I want to show up with a short skirt. That's what
Caleb, as an artist, when a producer or a mixer or an engineer comes to you and says, hey man, I think you can give me more. Is that tough for you to sit back and say, well, I just gave you the best I got? Like, or do you take offense? I don't want to say offense, but are you somewhat hurt when somebody says, I think you can give me more?
No,
when you think that you gave them the best?
Well, because I don't think I've done it enough to where I've had takes or things where I'm like, oh yeah, I just shredded that. I think I always feel like I could probably get it better if I had more time. So
how do you feel like have you ever done quote unquote the perfect take?
I don't know.
I mean, not necessarily in Nerd Halen, but ever when obviously for those that don't know, Caleb has been a GIT guy and has done stuff for years, for years have done music. Has there ever been a time where you've done the perfect take and somebody came back to you and said, it's not the perfect take?
Oh, I don't think so. I think when it's been the perfect one, everyone would know, it's very rare when it's the perfect take. So, but I don't think I've done that much recording.
Not bad, but I could do it better.
Yeah, I honestly don't think I've done that much recording to.
You know what? Hand me that other guitar on the wall. I'll play both at the same time.
But,
well, there's a fine line though too, between just totally like getting like the greatest take and just burning out and being like, forget it.
Yeah, but that's when you walk away and come back the next day and do the next session, right?
Yeah, but even though you come back, you're sick of something that's been structured.
No, but I think Johnny's saying like,
the new structure has to be, unveiled. So it's work.
You overthink things sometimes, right? Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Well, I think that's why some producers, like I can tell you when my band went in the studio, when we were doing rough tracks, the engineer, the guy named Hank Decken, who was the lead singer for a band called Nevada Beach, Hank rolled tape on everything, because when we were in there just sort of jamming out rough tracks to get the drum sound or everything like that, he rolled everything through the song and ended up using the rough tracks as the bass tracks for everything, because we were relaxed. We weren't thinking about being recorded. None of that shit happened. He was like, that's the best we're going to get, because you weren't in there overthinking it and thinking, okay, here I am being recorded. You just went in and sort of winged it. And that was that captured the live spirit of it.
Mm-hmm. And there is a reason why there's great producers out there. Those great producers are the ones that get those takes out of those artists.
Yes.
You know, and I know it's probably weird when you're doing it by email or by phone. You know, it's a little more difficult. Like if you guys can actually be in a room together, you know, like I've worked with. I hope that's not a mouse.
He came flying in.
I've worked with producers in the past, recording solos and stuff, where you're in the same room together, and you know they get you relaxed. They motivate you. They tell you, you know, yeah, this is working, or this, you know, try this. Like when I was working with Desmond Child, you know, he was telling me stories about when he was working with Eddie, you know, working on songs. And there's just certain things that make a producer great, and what they can get out of, or not just producers, just other band members. You know, when you work together as a team, you know, you bounce off the ideas off the other guys.
You know, it would be a fun project.
You know,
a fun project would be 5 of us get in here, everybody wires up their shit, somebody opens up their audition, and we all sit here with the 5 windows open and try to bang out a tune during the show.
I can't have a few of these then. I can't.
Yeah. No,
I was just thinking, just
after a few of those, yeah.
But it would be
a great show. It'd be a great show idea to have, 5 different guys that play the 5 different instruments, and then
because here we are all in sync. Everything is in sync. We're all in real time. There's no delay, no lag. You grab a combo, you grab a combo. We need a drummer. Who's going to find one of those? Or maybe we just run up an Elise. But how great would it be to have 5? Oh, can you play drums, John?
Yeah, I got an Elise's pad right there.
All right. So how cool would it be to do some night, have all 5 of us sit in here, set up some amps, or direct boxes or anything like that, run it through the StreamYard, and try to bang out a tune here live on the air.
Mm-hmm. It can be done. It can definitely be done. We wouldn't be able to all play together at the same time.
Why not?
Because the sound isn't in stereo, it's all mono. So it would instantly become just if it got too loud and too messy.
Yeah, and all the compression,
we wouldn't be able to hear each other.
That fucked the Beatles.
But let's say we could actually do a live tracking, and then have the tapes and put the tape and put it together. That can definitely be done.
Just throwing it out there as an idea.
I'm down, man.
I'll do it, as long as Mancuda does like the cum face during it.
Oh my god!
I think Caleb is the only one on this session that heard me do Big Bad Bill. I sent him the clip of me laying vocals down on Big Bad Bill a couple of months back, just for the fun of it.
Yeah, it's fun of it.
Yeah, I was just throwing something out there for something to be fun to be doing. And Fruitcake Tony's like, I'll play bass. It'd be a cool little, Straturday Night Live project.
You know what would be cool, Johnny? If we did something where, like, a community song, like somebody writes a riff or somebody writes a drum beat, and then send it to somebody else. They put a guitar riff over it, and then somebody else puts. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be kind of neat to do, man.
Yeah, we could do that. And he definitely has a mouse because he's acting like he's chasing something. So I'll be back.
I got to ask a question. Wednesday.
Thank you, Jim Beane, for that idea.
Yeah. See, one idea sparks another idea, then sparks another idea. See,
sparks.
Hell sparks.
Anything left in that bottle?
Bottle.
Was that or do tonight? Anything? Wednesday Store asks Jay, your old band do everything to a click track? Is it overdone in metal? Well, I have a couple opinions about that. Yes, we did everything to a click, and the majority of metal does, but there's one thing you can do as a producer or an engineer to give the human aspect where I do it. You know, I go in and I when a band sends me the rough tracks, kind of like pre-production, you know, I'll get the tracks from them and I'll hear a riff and I'll be like, ooh, that's a little too slow or that's too fast. And I'll tell them, you got to slow that down, you know, X amount of BPM or whatever. And I'll kind of build a tempo map for the song, you know, whereas when the chorus hits, you might want to speed it up a couple BPM to give it a little, the human energy, and you fluctuate the song a little bit. So it's not everything locked into a grid perfectly where it takes the human aspect out of it. So I'll go through a track. I'll construct an entire, tempo map, and then the band will track to that, map.
Yes, tempo is the most important thing.
Yeah, and in metal, if let's just say I'm tracking a band, right, and you have to punch something in, like you play a whole song through, and there's a few fills that are screwed up, and a drummer wanted to do an extra thing. If it's tracked to a click, it's so easy to just punch in one section, because if the drummer hears the click going, they know how to go into it and come out of it. Mm-hmm. And to me, in metal especially, I mean, it works better like that.
See, I hate to be the dissenting opinion here, but to me, groove over syncopation matters. And if a band, like I love the human swing. I love what Bonham did. I love what Keith Moon did. I think groove and feel trumps syncopation every time. As much as I know what you're saying, when you've got a band like Tool or a band like Rush or a band like a prog rock band where the one is important, but like the 1 1/8 can sometimes be the difference between fucking awesome and a groove. And I think it's very difficult when you've got a band that relies on a click track. I'm of the opinion, and I'm certainly comfortable being the minority opinion on this. I'm of the opinion by the time a band walks into the studio, they better have their groove down, because the meter is running and you're in there and you're laying your shit down. And if you don't have your groove down by the time they start rolling tape, then you shouldn't be in the studio. You're not ready to be in the studio yet.
Back in the day, they had to know their stuff. Nowadays, it's like,
yeah, see, and I guess that's an age thing. I don't know how old you are, Jay, but I'm 51. And to me, I love the Van Halen thing. I love what the Beatles did. I love what Skinner did. To me, one of those, like, there's magic in those mistakes. There's magic in there's magic in having the bulkhead door open during Could This Be Magic and hearing the rain in the background.
Yeah.
There's magic in a fucked up squeaky drum pedal in the ocean. There's magic in those things. Those are the things to me that make those things a snapshot in time. And I think that a click track and perfection can sometimes steal the soul of a song.
But that's why I think a lot of engineers just program a click and it's straight through. Where, if metal is different, metal is
no. Not all metal is different. No. I think you're talking about, when you're talking about technical metal, when you're talking about the Meshuggahs and you're talking about the Fear Factories and those bands that are so bands that are so tight and locked in on the one.
And you said it's syncopated, with the click, the kick drums, with the guitar,
and blast beats and shit like that.
Gotta be locked in.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of swing in that music, and I don't mean that that's not derogatory. It's exact.
Yeah.
And that's a prog metal thing, I think, more than anything else. But like, you try to tell me that what Keith Moon was doing with the Who,
that's not metal.
Bonham did, or exactly. But metal is such a huge. Even Lars with Metallica wasn't on top of shit, or Nick Menza was maybe a little bit behind the beat here and there. But that 1/2 measure, or not even a half measure, that 1/8 of a measure behind or something like that adds that swing, that human element that gives it that feel. And
Well,
if you can't feel music, you're not into
Lars
it.
played to a click, didn't he?
Yeah, but there is that
Sometimes.
sway. There is that sway that, you know, you have to, as an engineer or whatever, you have to kind of like, when you're editing stuff, you know, you have to kind of like, you know, when you're looking at a grid in front of you and you're seeing the transients.
And that's the tough part with
You know,
digital, because digital is so exact.
Yeah, you can see everything. You don't even have to. You don't even have to listen to it. You get to see it.
Right.
You have to fight yourself sometimes. Like, oh, do I fix that? You know, yeah. You listen to it and it sounds fine, but you
I think that's the disadvantage of digital music, because with digital you can see the slices and you can see the accents and the beats, whereas when it was analog and it was just on a piece of iron oxide, you had to hear it.
That's why they tell you.
I think ears mattered more.
When you're mixing, sometimes close your eyes and just listen, because
you
know, if you look at something that's off to the grid, you're going to hear it off. But when you close your ear or close your ears, Jesus Christ, close your eyes, you know, you don't hear stuff like that. It's just a natural human, you know, it adds energy to it. And that's
even Keith Moon had to play to a click track for a lot of those songs. Who's Next stuff. No, I mean, he went his own. And eventually, I mean, they started with a click track, and he took it. You know, he took it from there. But
real quick, hardwood steaks. Hardwood Steaks asked, "Did you tune to a 440, or were you down a half step for the Christmas song?" We were standard, 440 for that song. So,
by the way, standard is 442.
Yeah, something close to that. Yeah. So,
but also 440.
Well, also a lot of the British bands in the 60s would do like 435 or 430 something. That's why a lot of you try playing along with some of the Stones stuff or some of the Beatles stuff back in the day. They were tuning to the British standard, which was like 430 something.
Yeah, and during those songs, halfway through the song, you know, they'd be, and like the Kinks would be banging the shit out of their guitar to try and get some sort of distortion.
Or they'd be tuning to the piano, the studio piano, or something like that,
which was not in tune,
which was not perfect. Yeah,
right. So you would get those. There are certain songs that you would say it's a half step down, but it's like a step and a half down,
and it's on vinyl.
Right. Yeah.
And the motor in your record player is a little slow.
Or the motor in the Atari that they were taping that day was tired and off by just a little bit. And you say to yourself, well, there's no way I can approximate what George Martin recorded that day.
Yeah.
It's just like that, and that's what I'm trying to make with Jay, talking to Jay. The imperfections make it perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The imperfections, like that's why we talk about a record being a snapshot in time. When you talk about like Zeppelin at the Headley Grange sessions, or Stargroves, or any of these other amazing sessions, or Deep Purple at Montreux, whatever it was, that was a moment in time. And thank God Andy Johns or whomever had tape rolling at that moment so they could capture that. Because if you went back in and tried to Pro Tools it, like, can you imagine Pro Tools with the Beatles? It would have sucked. It wouldn't have been anywhere near as amazing as it is.
Well, I think
they would have had a lot of fun with Pro Tools.
Maybe.
Just saying, but I mean, but the Beatles did it with 4 tracks back in the day.
2 4 tracks parallel to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, do you prefer digital or analog recording?
Oh man,
no preference.
Yeah, I mean, I never was really proficiently recording back in the day when, analog was the only way to go, and it was very expensive, and and then digital came along, and you felt privileged to be doing that because everyone was, this new thing, and now it's the only.
I think it's been proven that there's benefits to both, and digital can be just as high quality as analog, and it's all about how it's put down on tape or put down into data. I mean, it's all about
tape.
Yeah, tape. I mean, there's
plugins. There's analog plugins to sweeten or soften,
and it can all sound just as good as any a quarter-inch Atari.
UA, man. UA has some freaking.
My question is this then. When we're talking about music, which is an oral art form, an audio art form.
Oral.
Oral. A-U-R-A. Not oral. Oral.
Oral.
Yeah. So you're talking about an audio art form. Is it
Ardio?
Do you believe audio? Do you believe that your ears are more important than your eyes, and as opposed to coming down on the one and seeing that digital track? If it's not in line with the one, if it's not in sync with the one, but it sounds good, which do you defer to?
It can sound fine if it's not if it's not in line. It can sound fine, but it's all in context.
I think it's one of my friends wrote an article about this. His name's Mark Lewis. He's an engineer. He wrote an article, and it's not entirely in tune to on the one and tight stuff like that, but it's almost like with the vocals nowadays, you can tune everything so it's perfect, and you can tighten all the drums so everything's on the grid and on the beat, but it almost causes ear fatigue because like it does something to you where it sounds robotic, you know? And that's why
if it's too quantized or
that's what I'm saying. That's why I like to go through a song, and with metal, especially aggressive, extreme metal, I don't want to have a song that's the same tempo all the way through. I go through and I peaks and valleys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do actually, and that's one of the arguments with prog rock, or the arguments with like blast beat metal or extreme metal, is that it is so precise that it loses, or even Steve Vai, where it's so precise and he's so technically proficient that it loses a little bit of the soul.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I totally do.
Oh, I think Vi can pull it off anytime.
Yeah, you know what though? But,
and that's just his natural state, is to be perfectly in time. It seems like, or in the groove, I guess.
You say that as somebody with an educated ear, but if you ask the average person on the street about Steve Vai, nobody knows who the hell Steve Vai is, and they have no concept of whether or not it is good. And I'm going to go back to Eddie Van Halen. If it sounds good, it is good. Angus Young, not the most technically proficient guitar player in the world, although extremely underrated for his capabilities. That guy grooves and gets to the point, or Chuck Berry, who just does what he does.
Keith
does
Richards,
it better than Keith Richards. Yeah. Those guys that are not fantastic guitar players technically, and yet can lock into a groove that resonates with the general public.
That's why rhythm is so important in music.
Right. And I think that's what's going back to Eddie. That's what Eddie does so well, and Nuno does so well, and Malcolm did so well, and even like guys like Brad Whitford, who doesn't get anywhere near the credit he should in Aerosmith.
Yeah,
Townsend,
a fantastic example of a guy who's not a great solo player.
Rhythm. I mean, it's the underrated rhythm players.
Yeah, that's what people hear. People don't hear the noodling. No offense, Caleb, but they don't hear the noodling. They hear the groove. The groove is the thing that makes the asses shake and the foots tap. Feet tap.
No, there's a lot of Townsend in Eddie's rhythm feel. So,
and Billy Gibbons.
Yeah, the Eddie, I'm sure would say that those two players are up there in his feel as far as stuff he's, there's like 5150 is like, it's a bunch of Townsend type riffs, it's a lot of Townsend stuff right there. So
rhythm, it's a lot of great rhythm tracks. Great, just a bed to play behind, a bed of guitar, or just a good rhythm track.
Well, Paul, when you say what's better, or what's as a guitar player, I guess, when you said the benefits of like analog versus digital, I mean, when digital wasn't a thing, if you didn't know what the hell you were playing when you went in the studio, you're out of there. You had to be prepared. Nowadays, a band comes in, it's like, okay, we'll just comp a track together. It's like you can almost build a song while you're recording it, as opposed to years ago when you had to play it, Yep.
You had to get the take.
Yeah, get a take together.
To me, we're dealing with it's not a tangible thing. Music is an audio thing, and even the imperfections can make it perfect.
Aural.
If you can't hear it, then we haven't gotten where we need to be. Once you can hear it, you know it when you hear it. We've talked about that before. It's indefinable.
Take something like Def Leppard, Hysteria, or Pyromania. I mean, those were absolutely just like precision built. Yeah, absolutely
built
track,
as they were being recorded,
sound by sound.
Yeah, which is amazing considering that was all analog back then.
Mm-hmm. They did use the what was it, the Sinclair or the one of the early digital.
Yeah, but they didn't have Pro Tools. Like, were they able to see everything?
No, and it was like you had to wait for the rendering and all of that stuff to happen.
I'd love to see if they had like a mixing team of guys jumping all over the mixing board, like for the.
Well, I mean, that's actually out there.
The console.
There's a guy out there mixing the basic tracks to Pyromania, and you can see him. He's got all the analog tracks, and he's just
I'm sure
which is kind of cool.
It's great to film that because they have to do that in a real time situation.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's one of the things.
It's choreographed, for.
It was a performance in itself when you had to mix a 24-track, analog 2-inch tape.
Exactly.
See, for me, that's the problem with some of the pop music today. And Mike Heath puts this out. All I write is hits. A hit song is a hit song. When you listen to, I don't know, Ghostbusters, Steve Lukather plays on that record. Session guitar players go in and they play on these hit records. If you can hear the song, then it's a good thing. I think one of the things that happens now is because technology has made music so easy to do when you quantize things and you can get everything on the one, it's almost like you don't have to know how to play. You just kind of go in there and a producer says, here's the song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's what we're going to do within the parameters that and the Pro Tools or whatever digital editing software you're using at the time can quantize it and make it perfect. And I think that when you've got something like that, when you listen to a guy like Chuck Berry, or you listen to the Beatles, or you listen to some of those bands that came out in the early 60s and 70s, like I said, that groove, they were locked into a groove. And whether or not you had the technological ability to make it perfect, it was still perfect. Whereas now, and I think that's probably why people complain about new music versus, and it makes us all sound old, but that's why people complain about new music right now. That it's like, well, it doesn't, like a band like Linkin Park, who gives a shit? There's no soul in that music. They knew no, there isn't. There's no soul in it. It's well crafted, completely fabricated, homogenized, pre-programmed Mac rock. And I think a guy like Trent Reznor perfected that. Trent Reznor was a guy that said, okay, I've got this musical idea and I've got this technology in front of me that will work together and seamlessly create amazing music. And I think that steals a little bit of the soul. And that's what's caused a lot of kids to go into Guitar Center and go to sampling material versus going to grab a Les Paul off the rack.
Good point.
And awkward silence.
No,
I'm guilty of this. I mean, there's solos, when the new Gizmochi record comes out, there are solos on there that are pieced together. I played them.
No, but they did that with analog too.
No, I know, but it's like comp together type of thing where like I have an idea in my head and I go with it, and
for something like a solo that will work. I mean, you take the time and you work it up and you make it.
The difference is that I learned how to play the solos in one shot after they were tracked. You know what I'm saying? Like, before they were recorded, I couldn't play them front
like
to back.
any band. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna play the solo that goes down to tape, and then they're gonna learn it and work it up again. Afterwards. They're gonna learn it afterwards, exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think that's an example of somebody using the tape as a building block. I think when you sit down and you try to play the solo and you say to yourself, okay, I've got several different takes. The first third works here, the second third works here, and the third words here.
Yeah,
that's what Ed did on Fair Warning. I mean, they pieced together a lot of those solos. They pieced them together from several different takes.
Zeppelin's Heartbreaker is punched in.
A lot of several guitar solos.
That's how
a lot of the classic rock stuff.
That's how all popular music is recorded now.
Sure, it is.
It's not just guitar; it's vocals. Every syllable
Yes.
is
Yeah.
pieced together.
Yeah.
They comp sentence by sentence, line
Everything.
by line. It gets comped. Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
That's how everything is done. That's why everything sounds so perfect.
Yeah.
Precise. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're a prog rock band, if you're Yes or you're Rush or you're Marillion or Tool or whatever other band you want to use there for a prog rock ensemble,
Marillion.
yeah,
Marillion.
that's a fantastic way to go through to construct a song. But to me, Chuck Berry or AC/DC or the Stones, that human swing, that little area of error can be the difference between a song and a great fucking song.
Mhm.
That human element, it's the mistake sometimes.
The
that I
listener
think-
can feel it. The listener can feel it.
Yes. The feel, and again, I talk about this a lot when we're talking about radio. When I do radio, people aren't listening for music. They're listening to feel connected. There you go. Marillion reference.
Marillion.
What's a Marillion?
I only know that from the young ones, actually.
Marillion.
Caleb, feel versus technique.
What?
Both.
Feel versus technique.
Are you talking about music?
Feel all day.
Feel it and use your technique.
Yeah, Phil.
Feel. Someone has some feel you can't
Follow the feeling.
it's really hard to cop their feel. The technique you can bust that off. But
You can teach technique.
Wham.
They had feeling, man.
Well, Nuno talks about that. I watched some, I don't know if it was a master, whatever the hell it was, with Nuno talking about guitar playing. And, he goes, nowadays with YouTube, like you can look online and see exactly how a guitar player plays a part and play it like them. He goes, when I was learning guitar, all I could do was listen to a record and be like, okay, I think he's playing it like this. And he said, I think it helps, learning it that way helps guitar players develop their own style as opposed to seeing how somebody actually does it and then doing it like that. When you hear something, everybody might hear it a different way,
Mm-hmm.
play it a different way, whether it's up here on the fretboard or down here on the higher strings. You know what I'm saying? A different way to pick something. But when you can see somebody doing that, you play it like them. But he's saying it helps him develop his own style by hearing somebody and then, I think they're doing it like this, even though they weren't doing it like that. But, which is kind of neat.
Well, and whenever you're trying to learn a song or something, you find yourself kind of in the head of that guitarist, or like, what would you do next, and what note would you play next? Or,
that guitar player has a tendency to play that like this, so I guess
right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And all the notes, I mean, believe it or not, this might sound crazy, but I don't think so. Every note on the guitar sounds different. Like the same note
everywhere.
on each
sure,
string.
Yeah.
They sound different. And if you can develop your ear enough, you can hear. So instead of being like, well, I think he's playing it in this position, if you can hear the difference in the notes, you can be like, oh, he's going to here instead.
Well, I'll take it a step further, Johnny. Jeannie thinks I'm crazy because sometimes I'll be listening to music and be like, oh, he's upstroking that one, or he's downstroking that chord. And she'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? I'll be talking to myself in the corner,
Well, you can, if it's a wound string, if you're playing on a the neck pickup or whatever it may be.
Well, it's funny, and Jeannie be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, sorry,
Yeah, that's nerd stuff.
I can't believe you're not on drugs.
What's your Dave Porn again?
That's one of the things that Steve Vai does.
Upstroking that dude. Upstroking that.
Upstroke.
All upstrokes.
All upstrokes in that.
Thumbnail.
Jay, are you watching that stuff again?
That's one of the things. I don't know if you guys have ever sat and listened to Steve Vai talk about stuff like that, but one of the things that he does is he'll say, hey, this is a C note, and this is how many different ways I can play the C note on the neck. And he'll sit and he'll meditate on what the C note is trying to say to him and how many different ways his finger position on the neck plays the C note in different places on the neck. And then he says to himself, which version of that C makes sense for the composition he's putting together? So I mean, he takes it to an extreme level,
Yeah.
obviously, because he's fucking nuts.
Well, I mean, if he was a piano player, I mean, it makes perfect sense
Right.
because on the piano, every C sounds different.
Yeah, it's a different octave. So
Yes and no. You're right, different octave and stuff. But even depending on what finger he's using and what position on the neck he's using it gets a different. There's a different texture to it. There's a different color to it. The C is not necessarily a C if you play it here or if you play it here. It might still be totally the same C, or maybe an octave above the C, but still, whatever it is, something about the way that finger hits the note and the way it hits the note here, he finds himself saying, okay, this is the right one. This is not the right one for the piece that I'm working on at that point. I mean, and when you talk about a guy that's digging that deep.
Oh, yeah. He dissects every note. Right. Absolutely.
Now, the question is there a balance between what he's looking for from a technical aspect or what he's looking for from a feel or a groove aspect? Which one speaks to the listener's ear or which one speaks to the composer's ear? Because those aren't necessarily the same.
Well, it's a fine line. I mean, he's definitely, I'm sure half the time he's appealing to himself, and half the time it ends up being appealing to the audience.
99% of the people listening have no clue.
Well,
if it doesn't work for him, it's not going to work for the audience.
Right.
But 99% of the audience can't tell you who Steve Vai is. So the point is, we're still talking about music.
Well,
in an
Steve Vai's audience all know who Steve Vai is,
right?
For the most part.
That's
you mean guys?
Oh no, let's ask Caleb.
The guys that listen to Steve Vai.
Caleb, which guy? Which C would make sense to you? The one that appeals to the largest possible audience, correct?
For me, it's the one that's closest, right?
Yeah. The one that makes sense fingering wise.
But also every C is going to sound different in the mixed. And the strings, depending on which string you're playing, the bigger string has a fatter C than the lighter string that has a lighter sounding C.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all done that though. You're writing a part or a solo or something.
Yeah, you figure it out.
And it'll sound different on a different guitar too. I mean, if you're playing with single coils or, the C's it's different through every different amp, through every different guitar, through all of it.
Even the strap.
Every different position. Yeah. It's true though. I mean, it really is. Every different mic.
Where you bought the guitar. It's
That's definitely Guitar Center. You got that at Guitar Center.
No, but you know what though? But it does go back to what Cantrell was saying. When Cantrell was saying, hey, the guys in Alice in Chains are opening for Van Halen on the 1991 tour, and Eddie gives Jerry his guitar, and Jerry plays
some tickets for that.
And it doesn't sound like Eddie. And then he hands it back to Eddie, and it sounds like Eddie, because even that C, depending on what finger or who's playing it, can sound different too.
Yep.
It's the way somebody picks. I think that has the majority of the tone.
The tone, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's all in the hands.
Which brings me back to the ears, because music
and the ears.
Yeah, because music is an oral art form.
Oral,
not oral.
Not Earl.
John is totally on the oral.
Earl.
Wednesday Store says, but still no one can figure Tony Iommi's tone and riffs. It's because he didn't have any fingertips.
Right. Right.
He takes out all the mids too. I think Iommi was the first to really crank down those mids.
Yeah, but you can't approximate, like you can't recreate his fingertips because they don't exist.
Yeah, because you have them.
It's a signature tone with because of his fingertips and that and the SG
no fingertips.
And all that. His lack of fingertips. The Thumbelina.
Thumbkin.
What did he use? Didn't he use like a thimble? Yeah.
Yeah.
A sewer's thimble.
Wow.
There was another comment. I got to read about a comment here. Hold on a second. This rum is doing me good tonight. Brett McCord says, I try to play a riff by the way I think it sounds. And if I think the way, can somebody else read that?
No.
God, thank you, Johnny.
I got to use the room again.
Thanks for the tip.
Just the tip. I try to play riff by the way I think it sounds, and if I think the way I play it sounds better,
The
I play it my
Clash,
way.
baby.
Yeah, the Clash, baby. I try to play a riff the way I think it sounds, and if I think the way I play it sounds better, I play it my way. You can still tell what it is. It has the same time but different. That's right. I read that shit-faced.
Wow.
You know, because I'm guilty of this shit too. The whole Nuno thing I was telling you about how like you might not be playing it the same way as a guitar player really plays it, but you play it your own way. I'll watch videos of like guys playing covers, and I'm like, oh, he's playing that wrong. Meanwhile, it's just in a different part of the fretboard, but he's still playing the right notes. But it's just the fact that like nowadays where you can see somebody playing something and you see where they're playing it and you see a cover of it, oh, they're playing it wrong. It's like we're so full of shit.
But like what I was saying though, technically, if they're playing it in a different position, it's not the right notes. It is, but it isn't.
If it sounds good,
You know?
it is good.
I know.
But at least give that person credit. It's like they're putting their own, maybe they didn't watch Eddie Van Halen play it live and they're just using their ear. Like, oh, okay, these are the notes, so it's kind of what Nuno was talking about.
Yeah, and technically it is the right notes, but it's not the exact sound. Every note sounds just slightly different.
Yeah, but you know what? But that ignorance, the ignorance to the proper technique, can create a uniqueness. Can create a uniqueness that makes it singular. Guys like Chuck Berry didn't have somebody to learn from. Guys like Bo Diddley didn't have somebody to learn from. Guys like Jimmy Page took what they saw, guys who weren't technically proficient, and made it their own thing. Guys like Page and Beck and Clapton were like the big three of the British guitar players, and they didn't really know what they were doing because they were learning from guys who weren't technically schooled. So they had to sort of dig it out to be their own thing. Like shred guitar didn't really happen until the 70s and 80s when guys like Blackmore and Steve Howe like took the classical influence and the word I'm looking for is educational or the technical proficiency of it, and took it to a level there. They were like, okay, we're going to do this in a mode, the modes and the proper classical tones of it, and combine the two of those things into pop music. You didn't have Page and Clapton and Beck and Keith Richards and Pete Townsend. Those guys didn't have a playbook to learn from. They had to hear it with their ears and then say, okay, how do we apply this to proper musical technique?
They didn't even have records to learn from. They had to learn from concert, from shows,
Yeah, they watched guys.
They were actually there watching the guy in person,
Like when Hendrix comes out and he plays his first big show in London and he starts playing Sgt. Pepper.
Sgt. Pepper, yeah.
Yeah. Starts playing Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. I gotta go, boys. I gotta go to bed.
Dude, your eyes were closed like a half hour ago.
I know. I'm so done. I warned you. He's like gonna come on. I'm like, I'm so dead.
But I love the fact that that the ball on your Santa Claus hat has moved forward
towards his mouth,
more sloppy.
Towards his mouth.
It's like your head is tipping down. You're like,
well, Caleb, congratulations on the new song, man.
Thank you.
And
thank you for the new song.
I hope Paul sends it to the radio station tomorrow to play.
Yes, Paul.
All right.
Time's running out.
Text me and I'll send it over to Jose and Lou and the guys over at Sirius.
Yeah.
Text you. Okay.
Awesome.
Take care, Caleb.
I'll send
have a great night.
Happy holidays.
Yeah,
Merry
you
Christmas.
Good night,
everybody.
Happy New Year.
Merry Festivus.
Happy Halloween.
Whoa, everybody just got bigger.
Whoa.
Where is it?
Even with the weight loss, I look a little bit more girthy.
Girthy.
There's more room on the screen down there. I see it, I see everything in the background now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, because we started with how many people in here? Did we start like this?
Yeah.
Oh, we started with sharing a window. That's right.
Got my,
So
Eddie, my Eddie over the shoulder is actually a 4x12 insert. If you've got a 4x12 cabinet, you can put that in there, and there's Eddie sitting in a car, what I think a Wolfgang in his lap.
Well, speaking of,
Yeah, that was a session where the Wolfgangs were painted the same color as the cars.
What's that?
Don't
Is
show
this
the
an
front.
Is this an unboxing?
nothing there. Nothing there.
It's an unsacking.
An unenveloping?
Yeah, it's another quick eBay find.
What you got?
I'm going to take you back to
The 51.
back to summer 82 maybe, at the carnival at the amusement park.
Little fair warning.
No, not exactly fair warning, but this is probably something you could find at any little
Oh, I know. what you're talking about.
boardwalk or yeah. So I have the
Got that?
purple. I have a purple one already. but
Spandex?
This is a nice.
Looks
You have
like
a
Klaus
purple one?
Mine's.
Oh, look at
nice.
Han Valen.
Is it backwards? Let's try that again.
There it is.
That's awesome.
Dude,
Yeah.
is that an original thing?
It's like $12.
Is it a reprint?
No,
Is
it's probably a reprint. It's got to be a reprint. It's brand new, definitely brand new.
well, if it's
but,
brand new, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I have to look for it, but my partner Mark.
I'll just keep the camera like this for the rest of the
There
night.
Dude,
That's awesome.
hang that in front of you from now on.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, that should be over your backdrop.
Actually-
background.
Hold on.
It's a cape.
I
He's
got
gonna
these,
put it on and fly
The
away.
Van Halen cape.
This one looks like a cape. All right, Mikey, come on out here.
New get up here. Oh shit, he's already up.
Jeff T, you put 50/50 pedalboard pictures in the Discord?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, man.
Screen share after the cape.
Let's see if I can stick it up on the wall.
Stick it up on your.
What?
I got these little magnet things that sticker. Let's see if it works.
Man, well, it looks like I'm half asleep right now. Holy shit, man. I look terrible.
Thumbnail. I can't believe it's only been 2 hours.
Oh, dude, it feels like it's been 6.
I know.
Holy shit.
Let me go grab it. My partner Mark handed me a T-shirt. He gets me shit for Christmas. He handed me a T-shirt from a place called Haunted Hamburgers. That's the Van Halen logo. Let me go grab that.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
What did I do
cool.
with the other magnet? I had another magnet.
Haunted hamburgers. I can't believe it's only been 2 hours.
Yeah, me neither, man.
It feels like I'm sitting there for at least 4 hours.
It does feel like it's been longer.
This is
True story. 5 minutes ago, I looked at the clock and I'm like, really? That's it?
I know.
What the heck did I do with the other magnet?
And the chat has barely moved in the past
Yeah,
hour.
they've given up.
There's still 65 people watching. So
Shit.
Yes, and we love each and every one of you. So make sure
Oh well. I lost
if you're
the
brand
other magnet.
new.
and if we missed anybody, we apologize. We've been
Yeah. Well, we never did the actual roll call. I mean, I shared the screen at first, but
Yeah. Brett McCord, G. Butchnoff, Frank Corcoran, Mike Heath, Papa Blue, Dan Valen, Old Metal Dude, Jeff T, Mickey Settlemeyer, 6 Strings, 10 Fingers,
It's like I'm getting a haircut or something.
Johnny Beane Highlights is here.
when's the last time you got a haircut?
About a week ago.
John, you got to get this, dude. You got to get a beard.
Yeah. Well,
Badass.
maybe I'll try it.
No,
I did. I had it for a little while.
Okay,
No,
man.
it's one of those things. It's too much work. You know. It
Too
ends
much
up
work.
being-
It's too much work having to shave every day.
But you have a beard. I mean, anybody that has a beard for 3 or 4 months, and then it's like, oh, you got to shave it. You get bored of it, and you got to shave it. So,
Huh? When's the last time you saw me with that one?
I don't know, 6 months ago, probably.
You remember that
No.
one show, Johnny? You didn't tell me you shaved, and I was like, "Holy, what the hell? Who is that?"
The last time I was clean shaven was when we had McRockland. the second time.
The second time.
That was the last time I was actually. Yeah.
It's weird. You think like when you grow a beard, your face looks bigger. It's the exact opposite with you. When you shave, your face gets really big.
Well, it definitely changes the look of anybody because you get like, you know, if you have like a weak chin, it definitely will fill it out. Or if you have a big, like a Jay Leno chin, it'll definitely hide it. It'll hide it, you know.
The Mac the Knife. Yeah, when I shave, my nose gets real big.
I just go with clean shaven all the time. I mean, it's just to me, it's just easier. I don't know.
No, man, come on. At least get
Johnny makes it work. Johnny makes it look good. Maybe this is the time of season that I would generally grow something on facial hair at some point.
do it for next week.
All right, I won't shave for a week or so. Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Now let's do some screen sharing.
The empty chair.
Let's see what we can share on our screens, huh?
I got something for you.
Were you guys looking to see if I was gone?
No, I'm getting goofy. Oh man.
You guys think I passed out somewhere? What did I miss?
You put more iced tea in that bottle.
Fuck you. This is all. I'm banging down this bottle.
Let me smell it. It's legit. It's legit.
It's a real deal.
Yep.
Never let be said that I'm not authentic.
Yo, Biggles says Jay looks like the hamburger guy from Fast Times. Who's that? The hamburger guy.
The hammer from Fast Times or from Better Off Dead?
He's saying
Better
Fast
Off Dead.
Times.
Better off dead.
The hamburger guy.
Everybody wants some.
Oh, are you talking about Judge Reinhold?
What? No way.
Because he worked in a hamburger place.
Yeah, that was
I don't look like him, right? Is that the guy from
Yes.
Yeah, by the way, can we talk a little bit about Fast Times? One of the essential parts of that is that Judge Reinhold doesn't tell his parents about the fact that his little sister had an abortion.
What?
Well, why is he
Yes.
obligated to tell him?
I gotta
I
pee.
don't know, but the idea that Mike Damone bangs this chick, who's by the way, I think a sophomore or a freshman in high school. She's like a sophomore or a freshman in high
It's
school.
all you, John.
She has an abortion. You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah, she was like 14 years old in the story. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we look at that as being a classic comedy.
I mean, 1982. That was the norm, right?
What are you drinking over there in your Cabo Wabo mug?
Sad to say.
Iced tea.
Nice tea.
I may do this whole bottle during the show.
Oh my God. Take it easy, man. Johnny, can I share my screen or what?
I'm not driving.
I'm not driving. I can take.
Well, depends on what's on it. As long
No,
as
it's just
cool.
there's some pictures, some clean pictures.
Yeah, as long as they're clean. Yeah, that's fine.
But I don't know if let's see if I can figure this out. Share, not share the talented artist, but share some pictures. Can you see that?
I see it. Okay, it looks like I have to preview. Okay, ready?
Yeah. What's that crap? No, I got some. I uploaded some pictures to this computer, so we get some of the festivals. This is the US Festival, one of the aerial shots from the US Festival.
Aerial,
not oral, aerial.
You know what?
I don't know.
I'm a little tired of you giving me shit about oral.
No,
That's
it's
the right
not. I'm not
fucking
giving
word.
you shit. I'm not giving
It's
you
the
shit
right
at all.
word.
I'm not giving you shit at all. That's why I'm promoting it. You know, I'm like,
It's the right
that's
word.
the right way to say it. All right, so let me see what else
I'm
I
not
have.
going to apologize for being well educated.
I had some. Let's see.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Now it's going to get dangerous.
I'm not going to
That's
lie
what
to
I
you.
can find.
After 3/4 of a bottle of fucking Jim Beam apple, that was awesome.
Anything's awesome at that point.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Pretty
Uh,
fucking hammered right now.
Where's my 86 file? Here we go. This is the good stuff. If I can find it. There we go. This is exciting, right?
Looks great.
Where is it? Wait for it.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, remember when I did
What is that?
the analysis of Eddie's string break on?
Oh my god!
But I don't know if I can.
Are those numbers?
Oh yeah. Live on that girl. It's kind of cute. New Haven.
You know she's somebody's grandmother right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Extra widescreen shot. Look at that. Built from a couple of different camera angles.
Not as good as the girl in the red, white, and blue Van Halen bustier.
Oh, I'm
Remember
sure I
that
have
girl?
pictures. I'm sure I have pictures of her somewhere.
Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? So this is John BL's computer monitor being shared by Johnny Beane.
Oh yeah. What's it say on the back of Sam's red Kramer? Anyone?
Can you zoom in?
I don't know. Can I?
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my dog Ace has decided that he wants to consume my left hand.
Oh my god!
Man. Johnny, you might want to cut to that, Johnny.
How many times has he tried to take my hand in his mouth?
Jeez, buddy. Take it easy. All right. I don't know what else I got in there.
This is how you know I'm feeling no pain.
Are you still watching me, or are you cut to Paul? I can't even tell.
My dog has decided he's going to chew on my hand. What? Come here.
I saw a folder entitled Brazzers. What was that?
Brazzers
Oh,
is-
you're not supposed
it's
to.
a
You're not
porn
supposed
site.
to see that one.
Stay away from that.
Let's check this one here.
My dog is biting my fingers and I can't feel it.
Where's the Sasha Grey folder?
I don't know who's that.
Yeah, right.
No,
By the way-
honestly, I don't know who that is. Sasha Grey.
Jay,
Sounds hot.
your Google requirement for later on is Tiana Lynn. She lives in Tucson.
Okay.
Yep, she lives
So
a little south.
this-
of me. Little south of me. She's
Gotta go.
This picture was
She's a-
from. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say she's a talented young lady.
This is from Hampton, the Rolling Stone magazine, Hampton Beach Casino, the night that Jerry Garcia died.
I
This is
remember
what-
I got death threats. I got death threats when I was at WAAF at that time.
Yeah,
I
that was
mentioned
what, 95? Yeah, so you
94, 95. I was on WAAF in Boston, and I had mentioned that Jerry Garcia had died. And look at the bright side; he's been reunited with that finger. Yeah, exactly. That's the right answer. That's the right response to that comment.
Woodstock at Night from Life magazine.
Is that where the fire was, where Rape Fest was happening?
Yeah. This is the
Woodstock
Woodstock.
99 was a bad idea.
Oh, Woodstock 99, yeah.
94 went well, but 99 not so much.
Honestly, I don't know what I'm showing, but I know there's nothing inappropriate. So here's more Woodstock stuff. I obviously I love the crowd shots, like just thousands of people.
Well, but think to yourself, John, did you ever play in a band?
Garage band kind of stuff,
All right.
yeah.
So what's the biggest crowd you ever played to?
Oh, maybe 300, something like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And this
You
is
played-
the sound system from Woodstock. Basically, they had like 5,000 watts for 500,000 people.
When you play in front of a crowd of 1,000 people or 1,500 people, you go to yourself, oh, and that's pretty impressive. Until you stand on a stage in front of 50, 100, 150, 200, or in Van Halen's case, at Glen
300.
300,000 people. 300,000 people. Just understand.
Well, right here.
300,000 people is more than the population of some major cities in America.
This right here is Watkins Glen, 1973, and it's the biggest North American concert in history. 600,000 people
at the time.
In history, I think it's ever. This was the Grateful Dead, the band, and somebody else. But it was in upstate New York, and I probably have some more pictures of it. Anyway, Millennium Falcon. There you go.
That's exactly what we were looking for.
That's Watkins Glen, I think. It's an old race.
The Millennium Falcon has landed in Watkins Glen.
Yeah, there's Woodstock. Mick. There's a bug that I saw that was laying eggs.
Okay. Oh, gross.
It is kind of gross, but hopefully we'll get through that quickly.
I'm afraid of these random photos.
No, trust me, they're all right. They're all right. This is the California Jam, 1974. This was the biggest sound system of its day. Deep Purple.
Tony. Fruitcake Tony. I sent Jay that picture. That was cool, man.
So yeah, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple. 250,000 people.
That wasn't Deep Purple. That was Rainbow.
Well, that's where you got the inspiration. This is the Black Sabbath centerfold, basically. One of their albums.
Man.
The live album. There you go. I think that's what California Rose Bowl, maybe.
Cal Jam.
One of the California stadium shows. The Who. There's a couple Steinbergers from Genesis.
That looks like a guy named Dave.
It's Daryl. Daryl's the bass player is Daryl something. I can't think of his name. More Woodstock. There's Van Halen played on this night, opening for Bon Jovi.
I'm effing muted the whole time. I'm sitting here talking shit. God damn it.
You've been muted the whole time?
Like John, let me show this picture. Hold on. There it is. No, I'm muted. So Fruitcake Tony took this picture in 82.
Oh, wow.
That's Fruitcake's picture?
Yep.
At Greensboro? That's where Fruitcake's
North Carolina.
He said earlier that I guess during this show, Roth accidentally spilled or spit out some of that drink on them. And he said it's definitely
the real deal.
It was the real deal. It wasn't iced tea, baby.
God damn right. That's important that you have the real deal.
Yeah.
Just like Paul over there.
Apple though.
I might finish this bottle.
Dude, man, I'd be in bed already, like asking Jeannie to take me to the hospital if I drank as much as you did tonight. I gotta go. You gotta take me to the hospital.
When it's all said and done, you guys will know the boy can drink. And for the most part, I have most of my faculties together too.
You do. You sound better.
Oh, there's a portrait of me my aunt painted, or actually,
oh nice.
It was a couple. There's a couple of them.
You look thinner.
This is the one my aunt painted. It was like a charcoal. Then this is like the real artist, like of the community. I have a giant forehead, but I know I was gonna say I naturally have a giant forehead too. So
in that picture, you look like one of those Brainiac guys from Star Trek, with like the veins in their forehead.
There's the third artist. Yeah, I love sharing this stuff. This is why it's my show, right?
Oh no. There's your address.
Yeah, way to go. There's nothing on here.
Oh, whatever. I don't care at this point.
You know we're close to 1:00 when John starts sharing those pictures.
Yeah, how many we got? 64 watching.
It's fucking awesome.
This
where
is
you
the Isle of Wight. 19. This is another 600,000. The Who, 1970.
This is fucking awesome.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
This is the stuff that I start. This is the stuff that I search out. You know, I'm not looking at porn. I'm looking at this stuff.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that's amazing to me. You weren't at any of these shows.
Oh no! How about this shot? Woodstock, 19
So it's like,
at night.
I'm pulling up random shows I wish I was at.
I mean, just look at all the people behind the stage. You can see the spotlights pointing at the stage, and then there's all these people in the foreground behind the stage. It's obviously there's. I'm glad you guys are having fun. This is 74, 76.
You were like fucking 6. You were like 6 years old when that
76. I was 2.
2.
It's,
2. You weren't even at
Nebworth.
These
This was
shows.
Nebworth, 1976.
Hey, I wish I was
love
at
this
Live
stuff,
Without a
man.
Net.
Why don't you
All
come
right,
see
I
me?
should find the Live Without a Net stuff. All right, the Us Festival. Look at this one. Big panorama.
Glen Helen Regional Park.
Regional Park.
Helen Regional Park, baby.
This was. Oh, wait a minute. Not that one.
Oh.
Whoa, wait, not that one. One of these. This was the Stones when Van Halen opened for them in '81.
And they
One of these.
came to me and they said the Van Halen show causes a lot of trouble, man.
Bunch of rowdy
Motherfuckers, man. By the way, I want you guys to see the bottle.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was
happened.
full?
Is there anything left in that bottle?
Oh, you rowdy motherfucker, man.
There you go. Van Halen, Thunder, and Ugly Kid Joe.
I'm gonna pay for that tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna puke a lot.
Drink Gatorade.
Holy shit! I need Pedialyte.
Yeah.
You can still look at my camera, huh? Obviously.
Yeah, I'm good.
Ned.
No,
come on.
Johnny.
Yeah, Ned.
Oh, Ned.
Look at this dude, man.
What's he got?
He doesn't have anything now, but he's learned how he can jump up here and like climb onto my chair and climb onto my lap. Is what he's learned.
Yep.
John,
He's awesome.
without trying to get into something a little sensitive, do you miss your dog?
Oh my God. What a
Of course,
question.
yeah.
No, because you say to yourself, do you want to grab another one? Like, I would tell you, when my dog died, my dog Hoagie died, I wanted another one immediately. That's a nice
How was
picture.
that?
What is
Nice.
that?
What the fuck
I was waiting for that.
Look at the cute chick in the background. Like, who the hell is that guy?
What the fuck are you doing? Ozzy from '83 at the Art Festival.
What's that?
Is that Dawn Airing? Dawn Airy?
No, that's
Ronnie Van Zant.
Ronnie
That's
Van Zant.
That's Ronnie Van Zant.
Ronnie.
Hell fucking yeah.
Put it back on that.
On the ape guy. We're past that.
And Paul, yeah, as far as another dog, right now, yes, I miss Howie unbelievably,
Of course you do.
but as far as getting another dog right now, no.
Here's the thing with my dog. I had a dog named Hoagie, and he passed.
Uh-oh.
And-
That's a
and
little
Lemmy.
risque.
No, Lemmy, my other dog, was dog.
What, that
dependent.
picture?
Can you see why I
see,
captured that? You don't want to show that, right?
I haven't clicked on it yet.
Boom.
I see it.
I'm not moving.
Yeah.
I see it. What, you can see through her shirt or something?
No, right down there.
Well,
yeah, we shouldn't show that.
well, they can't. What you're showing, they can't see.
No, it's probably too
know.
small.
No, because you got me on the camera right now.
But if you zoom
Well,
in, you can see.
Yeah,
it.
zoom in. Let me.
I can't really. I can only zoom. It won't let me.
But that's an
zoom
actual
into-
picture, though.
This is from a concert video.
That's from like Life magazine or something.
It's
That's
from a
from that Skinner show.
Why am
Yes,
I isolated?
Exactly.
because what he's showing, he was showing a picture of a girl in the audience, and you could see some stuff. I think.
Boobies.
I think so.
Barely.
Yeah.
It's 1970s, like barely. You can barely see something. You know, when you were 12 years old and looking for through those VHSs. You know.
Yeah. I can see nipple. I can see nipple.
Exactly. Like Princess Leia.
Johnny, to answer your question, my dog Hoagie died, and Lemmy, who is dog dependent, I'm fucking hammered right now.
No wonder.
Yeah.
You look happy though, Paul. You look happy.
I'm a happy drunk. So my dog Lemmy is dog dependent, and when Hoagie died, it was about 5 weeks that we went through that Lemmy was dealing with not having another dog. So I would come home and she would look behind me and say, "Well, is there a dog behind you?" And
Enunciate,
it wasn't.
Paul.
I wasn't
Enunciate.
Hoagie, but I'm trying.
Think about the words you're saying.
And so she would say to me, "Well, where isn't Hoagie, my other dog?" And I didn't have another dog. So she said to me, "Well, why don't you have another dog?" So I grabbed
Why the hell
Ace.
not?
So I grabbed Ace, and he's very similar to what Hoagie was. Wow, am I fucking drunk?
It's all good.
And here's the thing. Hoagie's awesome. You can see him right there. And Lemmy and he bonded very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's real happy that he's here. And they are the best thing that happens in my life.
That's awesome.
Now,
That's the way animals should be, man.
no, they're
Absolutely.
fucking awesome. They made my life better.
Happiest part of your life.
No, they're fucking awesome. And whoever's watching this video from, like, if you're watching this 3 hours ago and you can see how fucked up I am right now.
It happened quick. Yeah,
You know, it's weird.
it's like it hit.
When we were here, we were good. From here to here,
Man, that is
got
my God.
ugly.
It happened quick.
Fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Respect,
can-
Paul. Respect. That's good stuff, man.
I can tell. It happened very fast.
I couldn't do that.
Quick. I got fucked up real fast.
Yo, Paul, do you see Fruitcake Tony's last comment?
No?
Read that.
Can't see it. That bottle's empty.
Whoa.
Damn. I'd be dead.
Well,
Fruitcake Tony said,
how much?
I hate voice recognition. Last year, I accidentally used the word penis in a text message to one of my youngest son's school teachers.
Oh my goodness.
Empty.
Wow.
Man.
Time for the next one, huh?
Fifth Jack Daniels apple.
There's still a little in there. I see it swirling
All
around.
right, never mind.
Your dog's like, well, I guess we need
Oh.
tomorrow morning.
Man.
Empty.
Oh,
That's a lot of fucking alcohol.
Yeah, dude.
That's a lot.
What is that? 50% probably? Or
No,
proof?
I drank
don't know.
I drank 80% of this bottle.
No, the proof.
The proof, yeah.
I don't know. I can't read the proof. Nope.
wait a minute. Where is that?
Nope. Not reading the proof.
Is it 70 proof?
Maybe.
Okay.
The good news is
What time
good
is
news
it? My
is-
God.
the good news is it's
309.
1:09 a.m. Pacific time. What's that,
309.
That's 3:09 Eastern time.
Oh,
See, here's the thing.
Oh my god!
Here's the,
You know we
here's
could
the
see
thing.
you.
I know.
Here's the thing: as fucked up
That's
as
why
I
we
am,
don't care anymore.
as fucked up as I am, I can still do the fucking numerical, mathematic understanding of that's at 3:09 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh,
You're
oh
not.
my gosh!
Eat the dad.
That
Can
happened.
you
quick.
can you do the math?
For what? Math for what?
For what time is it in
Oh, my
Iraq?
Go-
What?
John, what are you drinking?
What time?
I'm just drinking
What?
beer right now.
What time
John
zone
gets
are you
closer
on?
with each drink.
Oh my gosh! Holy crap!
Yeah, hammered.
That's insane. Like it happened. Like
Dude, this fucking bottle is empty. This thing was like fucking fine all on through when I started.
I'm impressed, Paul. I'm impressed.
Poof.
that guy right there could drink the whole bottle and nothing happens.
Poof.
That dude right there, man.
Yeah, but he spits half of it out.
By the way, John Biel, why don't I have a fucking T-shirt from that?
A fly landed on my arm.
Yeah, I'll tell you off the air.
A fly landed on my
I was wearing my
Well,
chronograph
fucking-
watch.
Fucking Jay has been silent
go.
for about a half hour.
What?
You've been fucking silent for a half hour, Jay, and you're
He's been what?
I've been laughing my ass off the whole time.
silent.
Sir?
Silent is the word you're looking for.
This could not be displayed because it's not.
It's got tip.
Oh, yeah, I'm afraid.
Jugs.
Tell me what album cover that is.
What album cover?
Well, nobody can see it, but
Well,
Fucking
Johnny's,
send it.
that's up to you, Johnny.
What the fuck is that?
That's a classic album cover.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Nope. Me either. How classic can it be if you fucking don't know what it is?
That's Kansas.
Right now,
Kansas.
Mancuda is
All right.
like, fuck you guys. Mancuda's like, you can't get me shit ever.
We don't want to look at Mancuda's pictures on his computer.
oh my god. What happened? Did you freeze?
My throat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your face is the same.
Yeah, John
think
Biel
so.
is frozen.
It's that painting. Let's see those paintings again, man. Those are cool.
I like him.
Oh, you're done. Okay,
he's like, I'm hands off.
he's done. He shut it.
Oh, man.
That's somebody else. Somebody else has to share their screen. You know, can't get it.
You don't want to see mine right now. Wait, actually, you know what?
Oh, sure we do.
All right, here we go. Johnny's gonna get banned from YouTube. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't do that to you, dude.
There we go.
Um,
I have a feeling the last 20 minutes of this is going to be cut off tomorrow. I'm going to get a phone call. Please erase
I don't know
that.
what did I show something?
It's not the
I shouldn't
first
have?
time.
John,
Yeah.
do you get a phone call for that?
I've gotten
I'm
phone
too
calls.
worried
Yeah,
about
like there was this one guy we had on here.
wait.
And
Don't do that. Hold on.
huh? Don't show that.
No, I'm gonna try something else.
Wait, that was me. What?
Just you?
Wait, what was that? Huh? But no, there's been times where I've gotten the call the next day, like, Johnny, please delete the video.
What did I do last night? Did I share the StreamYard or the YouTube video?
You shared. Well, you have to share stream. It's within StreamYard.
You sure? No, I think I shared the YouTube video.
I don't know.
Yeah, you were sharing the actual broadcast,
Oh.
and then it kept repeating.
So so you're sharing your screen, which is you want this. You want your
Oh.
screen to be this. Okay, I see your screen.
You need that last drop.
Right now, you're showing the chat. Right now, it's just on the chat box. So you're sharing just the chat right now. Yeah.
Oh man.
Echo.
Crap.
This bottle is empty.
Let me try this again.
It's just apple juice.
Right.
Yeah,
Iced tea. Let's check out some of these banners.
There we go. You want to share it? Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
I did it to share the audio too. Let's see if it works.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, hold on.
It's not
See,
live.
You got to hit live.
Oh wait, hold on.
It's not
See,
live.
you got to hit live.
Oh no!
Wait, hold on.
It's not live.
You got to hit live.
Oh no!
Wait, hold on.
It's not live.
You got to hit live.
Oh no!
Wait, hold on.
It's not live.
You got to hit live.
Oh no!
Wait, hold on.
It's not live.
You got to hit live.
Oh no!
I muted it. Was that good?
Oh my god!
Keep going. I mean,
You gotta like
keep
you were
going.
saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track or something. Like you were saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track or something. Like you were saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track or something. Like you were saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track or something. Like you were saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track.
Why'd that go so quick
Like
this
you were
time?
saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track.
Why'd that go so quick this
Like you
time?
were saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track.
Why'd that go so quick
Like
this
you were
time?
saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track.
Why'd that go so quick
Like
this
you were
time?
saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track.
Why'd that go so quick
Like
this
you
time?
were saying, you gotta play like a rhythm track.
Why'd that go so quick this time?
Oh my god.
Why was John B. all glitched out?
Wow.
Look how fast that went this time.
Yeah.
Whoa, look at that.
Yeah. Last night it was like 15 seconds.
Probably less of a delay. On,
It took
you know,
forever.
after midnight, there's less people online.
Paul's the same on every single window.
Yep. Are you awake, Paul?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Oh man.
Everybody
Oh,
do this.
man.
Do this. Everybody
Oh,
do this.
man.
Do this. Everybody
Oh,
do this. Do
man.
this. Everybody
Oh,
do this. Do
man.
this. Everybody do this.
Oh,
Here's the thing. I have a friend of mine that is like, I will come over. A friend of mine that is like, come home and fuck you. Fuck you. So I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, you can come over if you want. And I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, you can come over if you want. And I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, you can come over if you want. And I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah,
Come on over.
I love the fact that you got this fucking. I love the fact that you got this fucking huddle of these fucking. I love the fact that you got this fucking huddle of these fucking. I love the fact that you got this fucking huddle of these fucking. I love the fact that you got this fucking huddle of these fucking. I love the fact that you got this fucking huddle of these fucking. I love the fact that you got this fucking huddle.
oh,
Wow.
where'd he go?
We lose Paul.
Oh my gosh.
Where'd he go? Is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Oh my gosh.
Did he get pissed?
I don't know. Well, literally, that hit fast. Did you notice how he just changed automatically with that thing?
That chug that he did. That was it. That was a wrap.
Wow.
Yep.
That was crazy, man. And look at this. This is crazy too.
Yeah, we gotta have fun with this sometime. We just do a loop or something. Try and make a loop. A loopa. 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 Try and make a loop. A loopa.
Lupa Lupa.
You can actually see it.
That's perfect.
You can actually go down the line of each square and see
Yep.
where it happens.
Do the wave.
Smack. Clap.
Oh shit.
Lupa Lupa.
Oompa
Lupa
Loompa.
Lupa.
Oompa
Lupa
Loompa.
Lupa.
Oompa
Lupa
Loompa.
Lupa.
Oompa
Lupa
Loompa.
Lupa.
Oh my god. We're on
This is
drugs.
our song. This is all we got. They were talking about making a song.
That's right.
This is all we got to do. It'll be a hit.
John Alupa Lupa BL.
How many? Man, you can't even count how many repeats there are on that.
No.
Damn, it's
Keeps
infinite.
going. And it was quick this time tonight. I don't know why. It was last night. It took forever.
There's
Maybe
less
because
people online,
just two of us.
or whatever.
No, watch the video last night. It took forever to get
Yeah, but that was prime time.
the
This is
repeats.
well after prime time.
Huh? No,
People bandwidth and stuff.
no.
People
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Bandwidth.
No, I don't think so.
Bandwidth.
No, I don't think so.
Oh man.
Well, anybody still watching?
Yeah, there's 60 people looking at this.
So is Paul really out? Looks like Paul's
Paul's probably just
Yeah.
sitting there in his chair like this.
impressed, though. I'm impressed, man. That was a good haul tonight.
Dude, I'd be in the hospital if I drank that much.
I wouldn't be getting up tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Jeff T. So tune in tomorrow when everyone drops acid and the video slips into the fifth dimension.
Holy crap.
Wow.
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 Holy crap. That's so cool how you can see it though. How you can see each video. You can actually see where that happens and you can actually hear the sound and the video. The box. That's pretty cool.
Look.
Keep passing it down the line. It gets quicker as it goes down the line.
Oh, wrong way, crap. I went the wrong way.
Wow.
Wait, it's that way.
It's the left. You got to point to the left and turn to the Which one of you is the real one? Oh, it's funny.
Is this real life? It's
Oh, man.
found a new toy. Found a new toy. Found a new toy. Found a new toy. Oh, we can recreate money from people.
Yeah.
Oh, we can recreate money from people.
Yeah. This is our Pink Floyd cover.
Money from people.
Yeah. This is our Pink Floyd cover.
Money from people.
Yeah. This is our Pink Floyd cover.
Money from people.
Yeah. This is our Pink Floyd cover.
Money from people.
Yeah. This is our Pink Floyd cover.
Money from people.
Yeah.
Hey,
What?
Pee Wee Herman.
What?
You were doing that last Pee Wee Herman. What? You were doing that last Pee Wee Herman. What? You were doing that last.
Jeff T said this should be a 24-hour show.
Well,
Oh
we
my
could all just hang up and it'll just keep going, right? Well, then eventually it'll be black.
Is that? Yeah, I was last night. That's what I was going to do. Keep sharing your screen. Keep your right.
Who's sharing their screen right now? I'm not. Somebody's Jay's
Jay,
sharing.
this is Jay. So let's keep sharing your screen, and we'll see what happens. All right. What? Subscribe and leave a thumbs up. And we'll see you guys Tuesday, Christmas Eve, John Mancuda Christmas special.
Tuesday.
Yes. So make sure to subscribe. Love you all.
How many are on there? It's 90 left.
I'm all alone. I'm still live. It's getting lonely in here. 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 Oh God. 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 It's getting lonely in here.
Wow, this is so weird. Holy crap. Wow, this is so weird. Holy crap. Wow, this is so weird. Imagine just leaving that on and it just becoming just freaking blob.
It kept adding them.
Yeah,
Nuts.
that's pretty cool.
Yep.
So you want to do the real show now? I have a feeling I'm gonna get a call tomorrow. Please erase this.
Is Paul alive?
I hope so. Yeah, he's split. I don't know where he is.
It almost seemed like he got pissed.
Is Paul alive? I hope so. Yeah. I don't know. I hope he's okay. That was that a lot? I mean, what he was having was that?
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, if I drank what he drank tonight, I'd be in the hospital.
It was at least 3/4 of a bottle.
Yeah. I had
Wow.
6 ounces of Captain, and I feel a really good buzz. So, yeah.
No, he was entertaining. That was good though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's still going, still going, still going.
Wow. Man.
Anyway,
All right, I'm gonna play some video games.
Johnny can't wait to get back to his what is it?
Postal.
Postal. Have to find
Yeah,
that.
we should figure out a game though, and we should do like some game stream. Because I know you were doing that a long time ago.
Yeah, but I play. I'm console, not
I'm off for the next 2 weeks, so I'll have some time. Maybe we can figure out something to do.
Mm-hmm. And it might be here. It might not be. I can't say where it might be, but if it is, you guys, everybody will know.
What are you talking about?
Streaming video games.
Nah.
So, all right. There's still 50 people here.
Jesus.
Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for hit the thumbs up, subscribe, etc., etc. Good night.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Because I probably won't see you until after, and I'll have a new guitar. Santa is going to be good to me this year, so.
Nice. Awesome.
I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night.
With his new Van Valen flag.
Is this still backwards?